Enter it now.
You heard the man. Well, what are you waiting for? FoxPHLGambler.com right now. $1,000 up for grabs. Go and get it. It's a Tuesday. It's a Daily Ticket. Shawbrace John Jansen. We going to get it. Good afternoon, everybody. Well, the NBA play-in tournament is here. The NBA playoffs fast approaching. I consider it all one. It's all one. We are now in postseason action.
Is it?
Yeah, 20 teams are playing.
Is that how we feel about the play-in games so far?
You cut the league down from 30 to 20. You took 10 teams out. We're in postseason action.
Cut it down from 30 to 20. That sounds like playoffs to me.
We are in postseason action.
That's not postseason.
Well,
it's an extended regular season. It's an extended couple of games of the regular season. That's all it is.
Well, what I do know is we got some pretty good matchups. I think 3 out of the 4 games are pretty good. So I am looking forward to the 2 games tonight, and of course one of them tomorrow, and that features the Philadelphia 76ers and the Miami Heat, still at 4.5 on DraftKings Sportsbook. New users, make sure you use Brace as the promo code. Let them know you're listening to us on the Gambler. That's Brace, promo code 5 will get you $200 in free bets. They got a nice little special going on for this NBA run, and make sure you check out all their promos. Of course, JJ Redick is all over the place on DraftKings Sportsbook, and rightfully so. All right, again, the number that we will actually start with, there was movement. It popped up to 5, came down to 4.5. I left the house, I think it was at 4.5. So it is moving. I'm starting to see some people push in the 76ers direction, which kind of scares me a little bit. But I'll tell you straight up, my confidence level in this team is just nowhere near it has been in previous playoff runs.
Now, why is that? I really need to know, because I feel like mine is a bit higher than I'm used to.
And I think it should be. How about that? You know, because I'm a guy that goes off of the odds. And when you look at what the futures are, the future market for the Eastern Conference, the 76ers, who have been dominated by the New York Knicks the last few times that they have played this year, they are actually half as far as money to go in on that number for them to advance and win the Eastern Conference. The 76ers are plus 700. The New York Knicks are plus 1450, I want to say. Or no, excuse me, it's plus 750 and plus 1400. So the odds kind of make me like look at things in a different manner. But just understanding where my brain is, it comes down to the little things. You are asking, I get it, the Miami Heat have not been good this year. They have not been good. And Jimmy Butler, we could start and end with him. He clearly hasn't been the same player. I think Sean Barnard said yesterday that he thinks he's missing some tread in the tires, getting a little older, longer in the tooth. Understood.
But heat culture. They're in the playoffs, Sean. And heat culture.
And it's not regular season Jimmy. It is playoff Jimmy Butler. So here we are. I get all of that. But the Miami Heat, do you really expect them not to be able to come into Philadelphia tomorrow night as 5-point underdogs and play a good basketball game? Because if they do play a good basketball game, this is going to be a tight one. And the Miami Heat, I would not be shocked if they came in here and stole the game. That's just where my mind is. And I'm not being negative. That's not a negative take. How could you blame me for having this thought process right now? Joel Embiid didn't play in that final game, and I'm sure he's going to be out there on Wednesday. I get it. But where is your confidence level moving forward that he will be healthy? You will be able to depend on Joel Embiid from start until finish in this NBA playoff run for the Sixers this year. Because you have to answer that question when we start talking about the futures. And I don't have confidence in that. I do have confidence in him tomorrow. Even if he's the 75% Joel Embiid, the bar is extremely high. He's going to go out there and still be one of the best players on the floor, if not the best player on the floor. I get all that, but I still expect the Miami Heat to come in here and play a good basketball game. And that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's the only thing I think about is, yes, Spoelstra will be able to dial up. He'll be able to go to the zone. He'll switch defenses. They'll have an answer somewhat for Joel Embiid. They're going to hit their three-pointers. There will be a player that I've watched a ton of NBA basketball this year, few games with the Miami Heat. There will be a player that I go, who the hell is that guy? And he goes off for 3 for 4, 4 for 5 from downtown.
Heat culture.
It is real, right?
It's real. It's real.
You can't
go on that run last year if that's not real.
Okay, then. Right. And you can't give me the word culture if it's non-existent just because it's another year.
But the Patriots also had good culture, but eventually that ran out because you're just not good enough. The Heat do have good culture. I just don't think they're a good enough basketball team. If we're just comparing the two teams, like take away the names Heat and the Sixers and what the context brings with those two franchises in the past X many of years, like 5 to 7 years, what that means to be part of the Heat and part of the 76ers. Take away all of that. Just look at the talent on the rosters. The Sixers are a better team. They have played better this year.
Yeah.
When Embiid has been on the floor, they are one of the best teams in the league, not just one of the best teams in the East. They're one of the best teams in the league when Embiid is healthy. Embiid right now seems healthy, playing healthy. They are the much better team than Miami. The only reason for pause in this game would be, well, the Sixers haven't gotten past the second round and have not been good in the playoffs, and Miami just seems to dial things up in the playoffs. That's the only thing that we can give Miami is, well, in the past, they've been good in the playoffs. In the past, they've been able to go from the play-ins all the way to the NBA Finals. Good for them. It feels different this season for Miami. I don't know if you can just turn it on like that all of a sudden and be a good team and make that kind of run again. It is almost impossible what they did last season. It's going to be even more difficult to do it this season. And I don't think they have the horses for it.
Look, when you take an honest assessment on every team heading into the playoffs, the Sixers might be the hottest team going. 10-1 ATS over their last 11, 8 straight. I get all that. Just, can you blame me for being this? And I hate the word negative.
Can't blame you. No,
but it's just this pessimistic view that it's going to be a tight game at the Wells Fargo Center, and this team's got to prove it to me. This team has to show me that, you know what? They are better than the Miami Heat. They were this year. Tyrese Maxey was dominant every time they played against them. Joel Embiid was the best player, as I said, on the floor. But something about this playoff, this vibe, this atmosphere, whether it's at the Wells Fargo Center or on the road, yeah, I'd start thinking doom. And I can't help it here. From the gambling perspective, you want to give me 5, I'll take it. I think this is going to be a good game. I do. I think the Miami Heat are going to be able to improve on what they were struggling with, especially down the stretch. I think Jimmy Butler is going to show up, and he's going to be that dog. He's going to attack. Bam's a decent player. They have the horses to come in here and make this a ball game. For crying out loud, it wasn't that long ago when they did come in here and beat the 76ers, and Embiid did play in that game, and they were stealing rebounds left and right, where Jaquez was peeling them off the back of the rim and dunking them.
I mean, the recent performance, those Sixers did beat the Heat.
Understood.
And Maxey almost had a triple-double in that game.
And that was a tight game.
It was a tight game, but it was in Miami.
Correct. They deserve all the credit in the world for going down there and win that ball game.
Yeah. Very good game.
Are you willing to give the 5?
No, I'm not. Because there are the two things at play. You're right. I'm leaning more on the side of I think the Sixers are the better team and they're going to win this game. They are the better team, and there's no way Miami just turns it on all of a sudden and they become a better team than the Sixers. I think the Sixers have been really good, but there is a part of me when it comes to betting, though, that does need to see a little bit of proof. Do it. Win this game that you're supposed to win. Make me feel confident, because the Knicks that you're going to face in the first round, that is a tough team. If you want to talk about confident teams, I mean, the Knicks are confident enough. They said, I don't care if we play the Sixers. Look at the 2 seed. If we play the Sixers, so be it. I don't care. Well, the rest of the league was cowering and didn't want to win the rest of the East. Meanwhile, the Knicks will take on anyone. It doesn't matter to us. So the Knicks are really confident, and I think that matchup is going to prove very tough for the Sixers, because the Knicks have matched up very well against them in the regular season, and they do have this confidence about them. The Sixers just, for some reason, do not possess in the playoffs. But prove that you can, though. Prove that you can be confident. Prove that you can be the same team in the regular season into the postseason. And honestly, the player that has to prove it the most to me isn't Tyrese Maxey, isn't Kelly Oubre, isn't Tobias Harris, isn't Buddy Hield. It's Joel. Joel, do the same things you did in the regular season, do it in the postseason, because so far in his career, he hasn't. So far, his postseason numbers have dipped so far below what they are in the regular season that the Sixers can't win with him in the postseason. He has to maintain that level of performance, and this is the type of game. I know it's against Bam. Bam's a pretty good player. I like Bam Adebayo. I imagine most people do like Bam. He's a really good center in this league. It's a somewhat tough matchup, but it's a matchup Embiid should win, and Embiid should have similar numbers to what he does in the regular season. Heck, do what Jokic does. Do what Giannis does. Do what all of these great players do. Get better in the postseason. I know it's harder to do that because Embiid's regular season numbers, their MVP numbers, they're absurd. They're up there in like some crazy, this guy's doing stuff that nobody has done in the league type numbers. But everybody ups their performance in the postseason. Embiid hasn't. Do it. I want that to be proven more. And I'm thinking in a game like this that he has a chance to prove that.
It was back on February 14th on Valentine's Day, and Joel Embiid did not play in that game. So I misspoke on that one. That's a bad job by me. But
it's been a long season.
The Heat did go in there, and they were stealing all those rebounds, and the Sixers could not buy a rebound or pull one down at the end of the game. And that's why they ended up losing that game. Will Joel Embiid help in that category? Of course. No, you're right. And that brings it even more. Putting the injuries to the side, Joel Embiid's postseason average, it goes down. It dips down. Now, some might say it's a combination.
It doesn't matter what it is. I don't care if it's injuries. I don't care what. And I think we're in the same boat in that. If it's injuries, then stop getting injured. Be available, be 100% when it. And I think Tyrese Maxey said it today or yesterday in a press conference. He said, yeah, in my second year, I wasn't 100% going into the playoffs. I was gassed. And this year he's saying he's feeling the best he's ever felt heading into the postseason. That's what it should be. You should be training yourself for that. You should be ready to go. If Embiid is not 100% heading into the postseason every year, well, then we got problems. And even if it happens during a postseason run, if he can't finish a postseason run, then that's an issue. It's an issue that we put on Anthony Davis for all these years for not being available. And the one year he was, the Lakers ended up winning a championship, even though it was in the bubble. Maybe that helped. Who knows? But still, that's part of it, though. If Embiid's not 100%, and that's what we keep saying every year, oh, well, he's injured. That's why he's not playing his best. Well, then find a way to play your best when you're injured or don't get injured. That's part of it. Be available. Be 100%.
JoJo has played in 5 games since he returned on April 2nd. Clearly, it looks like he is moving in the right direction from the box score perspective. Went for 24, 29, 30, 37, 32.
If I'm not mistaken, the one thing is, though, is turnovers.
Absolutely. Turnovers are brutal, but rebounds got improved, assists improved, shooting definitely improved, 3-point shooting definitely improved. Everything that you want to see. But again, I guess it's two parts, right? The confidence level that he's not going to disappear as he did in couple of games last year against the Boston Celtics in that series. And can you depend on Joel Embiid for this playoff run? Or is this just a game-by-game situation like it has been, for crying out loud, for the past few years?
It can't be, though. I mean, once or twice, sure. Even Jokic is not scoring 40 every game for Denver.
I mean by health.
Health.
Like, we're going into this game. It's like, all right, we'll just get by the Miami Heat, and then we'll see what happens in that next series.
I don't know. The thing is, I can't give you an answer to that. I don't have a good answer to that.
And
there is no answer.
And that's where, well, I'll give you my answer. No.
Right.
No.
Past results say no.
No.
Overwhelmingly no.
Like, you get to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then I'm rah-rah. All right, you get me to the ECF, and then I'm pulling out my pom-pom, and I'm lying because I'll be fired up here on Wednesday.
Yeah, you will be.
But
if they beat the Heat, or even Wednesday before,
I will change my tune. Get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Until then, I refuse to believe that this is the year that all the demons exercise the demons. I refuse to believe that this is.
It feels like such a weird year for it to happen too, because of what has transpired throughout the 82 games, and Embiid has missed a lot of them. And the thing is, though, when he's been healthy with Maxey, this version of Maxey that they've gotten, and some of the other role players that they've gotten, this seems like one of the better versions of the Sixers. And it's not. I think last year's team was better, but I think this year is different because Embiid has also raised his game, and Maxey's raised his game, and the East just isn't that good. The East last year was pretty good. It was tough. This year, the East has the top team in Boston.
Absolutely.
But every other team after that, the Knicks are beatable, the Sixers are beatable, the Bucks are beatable, the Cavs are definitely beatable,
Oh, yeah.
Pacers are beatable. Every single team below Boston is beatable. And the thing about Boston is, too, sometimes they don't perform well in the playoffs. Sometimes they have some issues in the playoffs and closing games. So they're not a juggernaut. They are the best team in the league by far.
Oh, yeah.
But even they have questions that need to be answered in terms of postseason performances. So it just feels like the East is more wide open than it's ever been. I know the Sixers have had some really good opportunities, like that year they could have beaten Atlanta. That Atlanta was the easy one to get into the Eastern Conference Final. I get it. This year isn't. The path isn't as easy as that one, but the East is more gettable than I think it's ever been with this Embiid era. And it's just, can the Sixers end up taking advantage of that? Is this the year the Sixers stay healthy, or Embiid stays healthy in the postseason? His postseason numbers go up. But yeah, it's a weird year to think that, because it just felt like everything that could have gone wrong this season kind of did, with Embiid's injury and them not having Embiid, and now they're a play-in game. They're not a top seed. All of that stuff, you would think, well, the Sixers, no way they can handle that adversity when they haven't been able to handle being a number 1 seed, a 2 seed, or a 3 seed. It's just the East is kind of wide open, and the Sixers, the way they stack up on paper, are probably one of the better teams in the East, probably right below Boston, or even right there with the Knicks.
Yeah, it's hard to argue all of that, right? On paper, it's hard to argue. It's just, now you got to show me. Now you got a game against the Miami Heat where you would normally lose this game.
And that feels like that's been the tough part for the Sixers.
And you would normally lose this game, and the excuses and the disappearing act, and then your knee is buckling, and you run into Markelle Fultz or whatever it may be. Just the dumb stuff happens every single year.
Yeah, and I feel like we have one previous example of where a season started to go south and the Sixers just shut down because of it. It's when they faced Boston in the bubble. They wanted no parts of that postseason. They wanted none. They knew things were falling apart. Now, it's good that they won 8 straight. It's good that Embiid got back and they have some momentum.
Yeah.
But in previous examples of they didn't really have the season they thought they would, and they're in a position that they don't want to be, they kind of shut down previously. I don't feel like that's the case this year. It's a little bit different because that team was going south and a lot of things changed after that season in 2020. But I think for the Sixers this year, I don't know, they're handling it a lot better. It feels like there's some momentum there. Just stay healthy and actually prove it to us.
I'm willing to bet I'm in the minority. I do believe that deep down inside, a lot of Sixers fans are feeling what I am saying and understand why I feel this way. But when you look at it at paper, and Sean made the case yesterday, he's going to join us at 4:05 coming up here in a little bit. Sean Barnard, like, the better player is Joel Embiid, of course, the best player. Tyrese Maxey, hands down, second best player in this matchup. Like, Jimmy Butler's great, but Maxey torched the Miami Heat this year. 27.3 points, 6.5 rebounds, 8.3 assists per game. And even in that final game, the Miami Heat couldn't do anything against Embiid or Maxey, as they went off both for 68 points, 26 of 40 in that game. So, I get it. On paper, Sixers should win this game. They should cover the number, and we should be talking about the New York Knicks in that opening series. But my mind cannot get there at this point in time. That's all. Being honest with you, you want to call me negative, optimistic, or pessimistic, that's fine. I can live with it because I was Shani Rah-Rah for the last 5 freaking NBA runs. And what did it get me? Not a damn thing but heartbreak. So I'm ready for that this year.
I mean, fans are obviously
I'm ready for that.
You're a fan and you want to be excited for a team. And there's reasons to be excited for the Sixers team. But yeah, if you're looking at this as at a reasonable level, it's kind of along your path of, okay, well, they've been in this spot before where we thought they were good and they've had good teams and they won a lot with Embiid, and Embiid has been really good, one of the best players in the league. Heck, he was a damn MVP, and it just didn't work that way in the playoffs, and he was a shell of himself in the playoffs. So yeah, I mean, it's reasonable to think that way. There's no reason to think that it is going to all of a sudden change after how many years of this, over how many postseason runs, over how many things that have gone right for them. They've been number 1 seeds and it hasn't worked. Yeah, it's why would this one work? There really is like a part of this of why all of a sudden would this be the season that it ends up working out compared to previous seasons where they've been in much better spots.
This is one game, and it's not do or die.
But here I am being optimistic because I look at the rest of the East and I think, wow, the East isn't that good.
That's fine. But right now it's play-in tournament, and you got playoff Jimmy. Well, could it possibly be play-in tournament JoJo? Right, this is his first shot in this bad boy.
Well, I did say play-ins are like an extended regular season, so maybe
right.
Joel Embiid should be.
Which, oh, by the way, the play-in tournament has a sponsor. Did you know that?
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's
the sponsored by
SoFi play-in tournament.
Oh, it's sponsored by a stadium. Nice.
Well, what's that? Energy?
I know.
Is it Energy or is it a bank? I forget. I think it's Energy. All right. Well, that is tomorrow, so we got plenty of time to panic about that matchup. And as I said, we'll get into more of that from Sean Menard. Cooler heads will prevail, and he'll join us a little bit later.
Wonder how optimistic Sean Menard.
Oh, he said double-digit victory.
I could have guessed. But
he said double-digit victory.
That's honestly, that's kind of where I'm leaning.
Good luck.
I am. I don't think the Heat are that good.
They're not. They weren't good last year. They made the finals. Come on. It's who they are. And again, the culture. You can't throw that C word around and then not have it stick year after year. Culture isn't something that just disappears with a couple injuries, right? Like, the team's ready to go.
Again, they got culture. Culture can only take you so far, though, if you don't have the talent. And I
think they had the talent.
I think there is a question
they got
of
shot
talent.
makers. They got a damn good head coach.
Okay, why haven't they looked like that all year?
They didn't look like that last year either.
There's only so many times you can have this magic run that can happen.
That's a good call.
It was impossible last year, and they made it happen. It's almost nearly impossible this year, and to say that it's just going to happen again is that's crazy.
You think Boston wants to see them in the first round? They lose to the Sixers, then they beat the Hawks or the Bulls.
No, but who were the 9 and 10 seeds? Like, are you really going to
Hawks and Bulls?
I mean, come on.
So then you get the Heat.
But I mean, you wouldn't want to see the Heat, but only because on the other end of that is we could see the Hawks and Bulls.
All right,
sure.
25 minutes on the Sixers to open up shop here. Get me on socials as far as your confidence level that Embiid can be the MVP Embiid that he was for the majority of this season before he got hurt, and dependable. Can we depend on Joel Embiid to be that guy when they're down in the fourth quarter and they need a big bucket and the big man's got to be healthy? He can't be laboring around. He can't be, my knee is buckling. And it's a reality.
It's a reality.
I'm not trying to make it.
Because it's happened even in the 5 games that he's returned.
Correct.
Where he's had to leave the court because of it.
Yes, exactly. Were we just in Vegas when that happened?
Yeah.
We got
the Euro step. Yeah.
We got into the cab.
Because I had just been on the show previously They're like, oh, yeah, Embiid's healthy. That's good. And then a few hours later, I have our friends at Cut replying to our Instagram. Uh-oh.
Yeah, exactly.
You sure about that?
We do have 2 games going off this evening, and I'm really looking forward to both of them. I think one's a little easier than the other. I will tell you which game that I am focusing on from a sports betting perspective, number 1, but I am intrigued by both matchups. We'll break them down and try and give you a few winners on the other side. Busy show today. Sean Barnard at 4:05. Then we got to talk some Phillies and that atrocious offense that I just can't enjoy watching.
You didn't enjoy Castellanos swinging at a pitch outside of the other batter's box?
What is going on with this team right now? And the fact that they have Whit Merrifield in a lineup, Rojas, Pash, I know he came through yesterday. I get it. But that somebody tweeted out the scoreboard or the lineup that was coming up in the next inning, and that's the 3 names that popped up. What is going on with this offense right now? And I know it's early. I get it. Long way to go. But should we be concerned at the way this offense is performing? I know I am, especially when they're going up against these whack-a-mole pitchers, these tomato can pitchers that you should be lighting the days up with. Bailey Falter comes in and dominates them when I got a nice little play, and you ruined my afternoon at Circa Stadium Swim.
You want to say that name one more time?
Who?
Bailey Falter?
Bailey Falter.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. What's the other 2?
Oh, well, Cal Quantrill was even worse. And Austin Gomber, if they can't hit him, is going to be even worse than that.
Come on.
The Rockies have the worst pitching staff in all of baseball.
Yes.
And the Phillies couldn't hit
the White Sox might be worse, right? It's a toss-up.
That's not saying much.
No, it's a toss-up.
It's a toss-up, right. It's a toss-up, yes. But it's not good.
And it's not fun to watch. So we'll talk some Phils with Luke Arcaini. Of course, get his thoughts on everything at MLB that's happening right now. So
I'm concerned with the Phillies. We can get into that more, but I am 100% deeply concerned.
And you have been. We'll save that for Luke a little bit later. But we'll talk some NBA. I'm going to tell you the one play that I am very, very confident about. You should too. And also watch out for this team. Yeah, I know it's the play-in, but man, this is a team that is very capable because they have shown it since the All-Star break that they are dominant. More on that on the other side. Sean Brace, John Jansen, Daily Ticket on a Tuesday. We're back.
Traffic currently moving 95
Radio,
southbound Academy to the Bed
now, total traffic
vehicle
for
crash on the
Philadelphia.
right lane getting by, and northbound jam for the Vine Expressway up to Bridge. Schuylkill westbound stop and go University to Barnard Boulevard to Belmont, eastbound backed up Montgomery Drive to south. To tell a total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America N.A. Copyright 2024.
Are you ready for Freddie? Well, at Gary Barbero's Auto Palooza, the nation's #1 used car superstar Freddie, he got a big broom to sweep clean every previously enjoyed Barbera beauty. All makes, all models, imports and domestics. And Freddie says, you got a buck, you're in luck. $1 down delivers.
Philadelphia's Credit Connection.
Rentals, lease returns, demos by the dozen, over 130-mile-a-gallon gas sippers, and 50 of them from the land under 20 grand. At Gary Barbero's Auto Palooza, Freddie says, buying is fast, fun, and breezy easy. The low price we say is the low price you pay. Philly and the burbs, I'm talking to you. Jersey, are you listening? Get your butt to Barbera. All makes, all models, instant credit, $1 down delivers. You're down the road.
$1 down for well-qualified clients on approved credit through Primary Lending Source.
No one's a loser at Gary Barbero's Auto Palooza. Is Barbera's on the boulevard the best? Boy, I guess.
A Gain Embiid story. Jim was at the laundromat when he heard his ear said, Maraca, senor, but his nose said, hey, freshest scent ever. Following his nose, Jim found a man pouring a bottle of Gain scent beads into the washer. The scent, the freshness. Jim blurted, sir, your scent Maraca smell amazing. Actually, Jim, most noses call them Gain scent beads. Try Gain scent beads. Way fresher than detergent alone.
Stay tuned to Fox PHL The Gambler for the latest CEOs you should know.
Bill Golderer, President and CEO of the United Way of Greater Philadelphia and Southern New Jersey.
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth, and if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges to your tax debts daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you'll owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you right now, like Deep Cuts, a commercial-free station featuring deep album tracks from iconic artists. Just search Deep Cuts and listen now on your free iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio.
Free never sounded so good.
Hear that? The soothing sounds of a bubble bath. And if you were here, you'd smell a single cedar leaf candle. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens out on the road, riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive. So if you ride, get back on the road and enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance from Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer. And then take a shower, because it's fast, like your motorcycle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Roadside assistance may require comprehensive coverage, not available in all states.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No. Call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com. There was one time when I was at my previous radio station, and this was crazy because it absolutely happened as soon as I said this. There was a hypothetical pitched 2010, I don't think 11, it might have been 11. And I said I would take Blake Griffin over Steph Curry. It was, I wasn't buying Steph, like, you know, I didn't buy Steph.
How can I blame you for buying into what would be the turning point of the NBA?
I didn't buy Steph coming out of college because I just never thought that body frame would work in the NBA. Never did I think he would have the accuracy to be pulling up from half court. Steph Curry blew me away right. To think that Steph Curry would work, you would have to think the NBA changed. Like, you would have to think the NBA would be a different league. And guess what? It turned out to be a completely different league. You're right.
Steph entered it.
And I believe, honestly, it was like after that year that I said, I'm pulling up Steph's numbers right now. Because everybody kept on tweeting me as soon as like Steph Curry would go for 50 or 45 that following year. And it was like, oh, Blake Griffin, scored 11 last night. Nice work there, Brace. Yeah, look, he came in, Steph went 17.5, 18.6, 14.7. I think it was the 11-12 season. And he got hurt in that year. The following year, he goes for 22.9, 24, 23, and then he goes for 30 in 2015, 2016. But it was because I remember I was hosting and I said I would take Blake Griffin right now over Steph Curry to start a team. Well, I bring that up because Blake Griffin announced his retirement today. The 6-time All-Star forward announced his retirement via Instagram. He was the first overall selection by the LA Clippers out of Oklahoma in the 2009 draft. He was rookie of the year. Remember, he had that injury, and nobody was throwing down dunks like Blake Griffin. Who was the one guy he dunked over that one time? It was like the big 7-footer, and he just, It was
Blake Griffin was fun to watch.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was great TV.
And he had the dunk over the car in the slam dunk contest, but he was a badass, man. He was averaging some really good numbers. Let me pull up his stats in those early years too as well. I was a Blake Griffin guy. I was. Clearly, I was 100% wrong on that take because Steph Curry is,
as always,
one of the greats of all time as far as NBA history is concerned, and Blake Griffin will be will he ever be mentioned other than the fact that he was a number 1 overall pick? No. You say no to that?
No.
Yeah, like he never won an NBA championship. He had a good career.
He had a really good career. So
he played forever. He played 14 seasons.
I mean, there's not all NBA picks number 1 are going to be like Victor Wembanyama or LeBron James. But I mean, you look at the overall body of work, fine. It's good. It's really good. Like he was a very good NBA player. He got phased out. I mean, injuries and stuff helped out with that. But
yeah, he at the end of his career, look, man, that was for Detroit though. Yeah.
I mean, but for a period of time there, he was very, very good.
Clippers were successful when he was there.
Lob City,
correct. He averaged 24.1 in 2013, 2014. He finished 3rd in MVP voting. That's pretty damn good. Let me pull up some other numbers here. As far as rebounds are concerned, it's his first 2 seasons, he averaged double-double, 12.1, 10.9 to go along with 22.5, 20.7, and then it's just all downhill from there. And it's not to say that I think he was out partying or anything like that, because he had a great career. His career, I'm not afraid to use the word great. Look, you play for that long, that's a great damn career. That is. He was the number 1 overall pick. He could have faded off after his years with the Clippers, and he kept hanging around. He played with Detroit, played with Toronto, played with Brooklyn, and closed up shop at 33 years old.
Hanging around, I guess. Sure.
Hey, look.
And do much of those stops. But
if you can get it. He did bounce back. He finished 24.5 with Detroit in 2018, 2019, 75 games played. He averaged over 20.
How bad was that Detroit team?
Probably really bad, but he averaged over 20 points per game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of 14 years in the NBA. That's pretty damn good. I'm not afraid to say Blake Griffin had a great career. I'm not afraid to say that. I know people get
he had a great career. You have that many, and all-stars. Was he on any All-NBA teams? I'm sure he's on a couple. Yeah, you can't call that a bad career. If you're playing at that level for an extended period of time. It's just, I mean, he got phased out of the league. That's all. I mean, injuries, again, certainly accelerated that. But the league at that point became you had to open the floor up a little bit more. It was more about spacing, and Blake Griffin just, I don't know, to me, couldn't really survive in that kind of league. He ended up being decent 3-point shooter in some seasons.
He was All-NBA. He was named 2nd team All-NBA 3 times, 3rd team All-NBA twice. He finished his career at 19, 8, and 4. I bring that up, and you know where I'm going with this, because people get all bothered. You used to not be able to say Donovan McNabb was great. Used to not be able to say Donovan McNabb had a great career with the Philadelphia Eagles. There was a host that would not allow you to say that. Looking back on it, Donovan McNabb had a great career with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, Donovan McNabb had a great career.
And I think Blake Griffin did as well. I
imagine whoever says that Donovan McNabb didn't have a great career would also say Andy Reid wasn't good. So either pick your poison. Somebody had to lead the Eagles to 4 NFC championship games in the Super Bowl. I mean, I just think the quarterback coach were really good. I think that's all you need to chalk it up to. Quarterback and coach are really good. McNabb wasn't perfect. McNabb wasn't like the best quarterback in the league in those years, but he was great.
Blake Griffin hangs it up. And I will tell you also, as I'm looking at this real quick, because this will tell you all you need to know as far as whether or not it was a great career or not. I know he had signed his 2nd-year deal was 5 years, 175.
Hey.
Give me the money, damn it. How much money did he salaries? Here you go. He made $260 million.
That's a great career to me.
That is a great damn career.
You can't tell me that isn't.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, let's go.
Good for him.
Yeah, let's go. All right. Get involved in the conversation at Fox PHL Gambler on social streaming.
Was he one of the first to get in on like a Kardashian sweepstakes too? Wasn't he part of that?
God, Blake Griffin was in.
Yeah, I know he was on a roast. Like he ended up becoming a pretty famous athlete.
Who he used to? Yeah, he was smooth because he was doing the comedy, right? Didn't he have like some acting gigs? Come on, you're Johnny Cinema.
He might have, yeah, but he's on movies that I don't care about. But yeah, I think he did. I think he was in that oh my gosh, Amy Schumer and Bill Hader movie with like John Cena was in it too.
Wasn't LeBron James in that?
LeBron James was in it. Yeah, I thought Blake Griffin was kind of in that.
He once had a high-profile romance with model Kendall Jenner.
There we go. Yeah, and then he was on a roast. So yeah, he ended up becoming a pretty famous athlete off the court.
Blake Griffin's dating history from Kendall Jenner to Francesca Aiello.
Don't know who that is.
She's hot.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, Kendall Jenner. She's got a Polo commercial that we saw the other day. Oh Lord, she's like,
I shouldn't have mentioned this.
Like she's rolling around in the grass. Like good grief. Yeah, she's I don't get down with the Kardashians, but I would not.
You don't keep up with the Kardashians?
I like what you did there.
Sorry.
I do like what you did there. That was nice work by you. Nice work.
That's terrible. That's horrible.
In your face. Let's see what else he did here. Oh, he's got 2 kids, son Ford Wilson and daughter Finley Elaine, with his ex Bryn Cameron. Trying to see who else he dated. Anybody else? Because
why do we get down this?
This is
I was saying that he had notoriety off the court as well, and it became who is he dating?
This is a pretty good article by People. I've been reading a lot of People magazine.
Why
articles.
have you been reading a lot of People magazine articles?
Because
there is no reason for you to be reading them.
Because when you go to your iPhone and you go like, what is it? It's like this, right? Isn't it? Yeah, there you go. The top stories. And it's always got something from People, and it grabs me. The headline writers over there, People, are good at what they do. So I click on it, and next thing you know, I'm getting caught up.
You're just getting weaker by the day.
Blake Griffin
just can't help yourself anymore. You have no self-control.
None whatsoever, yeah. All right, let's go. Let's keep it moving here. We got 2 games coming up here tonight, NBA play-in action. And I'll tell you what, we need the NBA music.
Look at this. Detroit and Texas just finished their game. Detroit's post-game interview with the player of the game is Matt Vierling. Good for Matt Vierling.
How about that?
Coming up with pinch hit single in the 8th. They gave them the lead.
They're struggling, weren't they?
Yeah, they're not good.
There's a lot of teams that are struggling right now. So that's one of the things that I'm trying not to get too crazy.
Every team in the AL West, anybody, please play baseball. Anybody.
The Houston Astros have what, 2 wins?
They have more than 2 wins. I think they have like 6 or 7.
Okay. I thought that they lost yesterday to the Braves. And I looked at their record and I was like, damn.
It's certainly not good.
No.
But the thing is, the rest of the AL West stinks. Seattle looks terrible. Seattle looks absolutely awful right now. So the Astros are 6-12, Oakland 7-10, Seattle 7-10, Angels 8-8, and at the top of the division is the Texas Rangers, who are 9-9. They're the only one with a plus run differential, though, but they're 3 of their last 10. They've only won 3 of their last 10. Awful baseball being played in the West, which I think if that helps anybody more, it's Seattle, because we know Seattle. Like last year, the second half of the season, they can go on a remarkable run, and there's a lot of talent there. And Julio Rodriguez at some point is going to be Julio Rodriguez, and the pitching has shown flashes of it being. I know Julio's been uncharacteristically
second
bad.
overall pick in the fantasy
last
draft.
Year in the first half, he wasn't good.
No, he's
but
terrible.
not like this. This is bad. This is you should be benched kind of performance. Still, I believe in the talent there in Seattle. But yeah, I mean Houston 6-12, and it doesn't matter because they're still well within means to take that West because everybody else stinks.
His first, I believe, extra base hit happened on opening day. Hasn't had one since. I know he knocked in a run.
It's so bad.
Yesterday.
The Phillies would be at the top of that division.
Wow.
The Phillies would be number 1 in that division.
Wow. All right, let's go ahead.
Come on, man.
Live edition, live action, Tracy.
What is this? Basketball, gimme the ball because I'm gonna dunk it. Is that one of the best SNL skits? One of the better ones?
We got action.
Do we?
Play in action coming up this evening. We got 2 games.
No, I thought you meant right now. I was like, well, who's playing now? 3:45. This isn't Vegas.
10 a.m. out there, start time. I don't know how
There's
they do
no
it.
chance I was getting up to watch any.
I just don't know how you do it out there. I really don't. I think there are.
You had to get up early just to even watch Masters. Masters was awful.
I think there's pluses and there's minuses. I get it. And if you can get accustomed to watching the games and then having your night, to yourself where everything is wrapped up by 7 p.m., that's cool, but it's just not what I'm used to. And I prefer the afternoon 1 o'clock starts versus 10 a.m. That's and especially with all this overseas stuff. Next thing you know, it's opening up at 6 o'clock. Yeah. Anyways. All right. So here we go. Lakers and Pelicans. That's the first game this evening. Pelicans are a point favorite, which is really intriguing to me. 224.5. Lakers just played them, lumped them up, have had their number throughout the course of this season. Definitely playing better basketball. I'll get into some of those numbers in a little bit here. And the Warriors and Kings, that's a little bit later at 10 p.m. this evening. Both games TNT. 2.5 for the Golden State Warriors, 223. And again, 2 teams that are going in opposite directions. Warriors are the better team out of all 4 of those teams that I just mentioned. And I will get into those numbers and why I feel that way. But we open up with the Lakers and Pelicans. As I said, DraftKings, Pels are a point favorite here. Any vibes on this game for you? Of course, the big story is Anthony Davis. Came up a little hobbled, but he said he's absolutely going to be out there. The thing is, as I said, opposite directions over the last 15 games of the regular season. Lakers went 11-4, and they are dominating on the glass, and that's not going to stop tonight. Over the last 15 games of the regular season, the Pelicans were 8-7, and you're talking about a team, the Lakers, 4th highest rebound rate in the league over those final 15 games. Pelicans 24th in that category. And as I just said, that game was needed on Sunday for both teams. The Pelicans, I believe if they won that game, they were going to get into the playoffs, ended up getting smoked. So now everybody's scratching their head. Why are the Pelicans favored here?
They're at home.
Yeah.
I know they were at home last game, but still they're at home. That means something.
LeBron's going to go off. LeBron's going to do his thing. Anthony Davis, I would assume if he's out there, he's going to be Anthony Davis, which he was dominant. He had an MVP candidate type of season this year. He really did. Look at the numbers. He played a ton of games. There's people that have this thought process in their head that Anthony Davis is not a guy you can count on. I think this year he proved you wrong in that manner. Now here we are at the playoffs. We'll see what happens. But for me, I think this is an easy one. I think the Lakers go and handle business. But as I said, the key factor for this game for me is the outside shooting from the backcourt and what you need to get from, of course, Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell. It lives and dies with those two because LeBron's going to do his thing. AD's going to do his thing. But when the Lakers are winning, you're getting production from D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves. Can they count on that tonight in New Orleans, going up against their guards? And as far as the defense that the Pelicans roll out there, I think they can. I just don't know why they're not favored here. So that's why I'm scratching my head a little bit.
And if LeBron keeps playing the way he is, though, I agree with you. Now, I haven't been impressed with the Lakers.
8 assists in the first quarter.
Yeah, he had a triple-double in that game. He's had his best month of the season in April, 28 points per game, 10 assists, 7 rebounds, and he's doing that on 60.9% from the field. So he's been efficient. He's been distributing, like all the things you think of LeBron as a postseason performer, where he basically does it all, and he distributes the ball really well in the postseason. That is the way he's played in the last month. So I do like the way the Lakers have looked in April. I haven't been a big fan of them overall because, as you just said, it just comes down to outside shooting, and that's not been the best at times. I don't love the way this Lakers team is constructed, but I think against New Orleans, this is probably a good matchup for them. I assume. I think LeBron should be fine in this one. So I'm with you. I know the number looks a little bit sketchy, and sometimes as bettors when we see that, we like to go the other way. If it looks sketchy, and we go, oh, that's easy for the Lakers. Well, go to New Orleans. I don't know if that's the case here. 1.5 is not a lot for a team, again, that's at home. And Even if the Lakers just beat them, however big they are, New Orleans is still a really good team, and 1.5 is a really low number for a home team that's good. So I do like the Lakers in this, even if that number seems sketchy.
So looking at
LeBron was 5th in assists this season.
Yeah, it's
13th in points, 32nd in rebounds.
He's 5th all time.
20th in field goal percentage.
He's 5th all time in assists, number 1 in
Brother,
points.
this guy's 39 years old. Get out of here.
Still not the greatest of all time. It's harder and harder to say that. It really is. It really is.
Oh my God.
It's just, and I knew it was going to happen because you saw the writing on the wall. You knew he was going to continue to play, and he's not done. He's going to get Bronny drafted by whoever he goes to next, which is probably the Lakers, right? I would assume he stays there. He'll get Bronny.
Or he goes to another college team.
Who, Bronny this year?
Yeah, maybe he does. Maybe he stays. Maybe he does stay in college.
He should, but at the
right. If this was another circumstance, if this was anything other than your LeBron James kid,
correct.
And the idea of you playing with your dad, I mean, go take it, and your dad can coach you up. It'll be great for a year. But if you are any other player, yes, take that year because you went into the year with a heart problem that really stunted, I think, your growth in your first season. I think he is an NBA player. I think people are forgetting that. Like this kid didn't have any.
Whoa.
He's an NBA. Yes.
Whoa.
You do not have the type of fanfare you did coming into, not fanfare, but there were legit scouts saying that this kid could be a rotational NBA player. He can be. You're going to tell me the first year of that, his first year after having heart problems where he couldn't practice, and that wasn't going to stunt his growth. Of course, that was going to stunt his growth.
Of course.
I think he needs another year or two to prove that he is going to. But yes, there is a chance, and I think there is a good chance that he is an NBA player, and he's at least a second round NBA player that's a rotational piece. Yes. He has the body type for it. He has the shooting stroke for it. Like everything works. It's just he has to develop into that.
Yeah, it looks good, but it doesn't go in. His percentages
rotate. Again, what are we not getting about this kid? What
are we not getting? My point would be when you say he's an NBA player, I just say, like, at this point in time, right here, right now, watching the college game as closely as we did, there were I could name you 40 guys off the top of my head that were a better NBA prospects.
I completely agree.
Than Bronny.
That's my point of his growth definitely was stunted this year, I think, because of that. Because he wasn't able to practice because he missed the first couple months of the season. Yes, his growth was going to be stunted and that it was going to take a little bit more time. I do think if this was any other player and this was any other person except for LeBron James' kid, he would be a 3-year player. He would go to the NBA draft after his 3rd year and he would end up being a decent NBA player. That's the career arc for a type like Bronny James. The thing is, it's accelerated because his name is Bronny James and he's LeBron James' kid. And they're going to look every chance they can for him being the NBA.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, he needs time to develop. He absolutely needs time. But the archetype and also where he was coming into his college career, that is likely a player that will develop into an NBA player. I'm not saying he's going to be great. I'm not saying he's going to be a starting NBA player. He's a rotational NBA piece that will be on a bench somewhere and he will get minutes somewhere.
I don't think he is if his name's not James. If he's not LeBron's kid.
See, I think we already got past that after. I don't know. Everybody says that. I think we got past that after college and he's like, well, he was a 4-star recruit. Like, of course you think of 4-star recruits can eventually develop into a second-round NBA player and a rotational NBA player.
That sounds really easy. I don't think it's that easy. But anyways, he's going to get to the NBA. Right, like I'm not going to argue with you because he's getting into the NBA.
Right. Well, that's
some way somehow will end up playing with his dad. That's been his goal. It's one of the greatest, if not the greatest, basketball player of all time. You're going to make that happen no matter where he is, and it's pretty cool. At the end of the day, it's entertainment, right? I think that's going to be pretty cool. I didn't get the opportunity to watch Griffey Senior and Griffey Jr. That was right when I was, tuning in. Didn't really understand it at that point in time. How really cool that is. I think the Alomars played together, right, too, as well. But, of course, this hits a little different with it being LeBron and watching his career from start to finish. All right.
Again, this kid was a 4-star recruit. He's a 6'4", 210 shooting guard.
He's
6'3". He's 6'3". He's shooting guard prototype. and he can play defense. He's a two-way guard.
I'm telling you, he gets to the NBA, but I don't think he does if not LeBron's
yes, he does.
kid.
Yes, he does.
We'll find out what Sean Barnard says. He'll settle
You
it.
just don't be a 4-star prospect. Oh, his name's Bronny James. So
4-star? Come on, man. How
4
many
stars
people are
good.
4 stars out there? How many 4-star recruits?
There's not many 5 stars.
Well, how many 4 stars? I'm asking 4 stars.
Okay, well, if you are a top 100 player, which he was a top 100 player coming out of high school.
LeBron's kid.
Oh my goodness. All right, whatever. If that's all you're going to keep going back on. But you can't tell me, even if you just take the name away, that the profile doesn't fit a player that's going to be a rotational piece in the NBA at some point.
Just watched.
That will develop into that.
I just watched.
You watched the first year of his career.
No. I just watched. The kid who's going to Duke, right? What's his name? Flag or
he's not Cooper Flag.
Hang on, listen.
Okay.
I know he's not. Jeez.
Not many are. Cooper Flag.
Correct. But in that game,
okay,
right? I watched that battle. There was, I think they played back-to-back nights. I watched the one game. Like, every one of those kids were far and away better than Bronny James. Every one of them. And like, I get it. Yeah, they're the best of the best. They're representing this country. Like, my point is, I don't think every one of those kids will make it to the NBA.
You know what? You tell me that when you go back and watch Bronny James in the McDonald's All-American game last year. Because he played well in that game.
Okay. All right.
So you tell me that those kids are better than him, even though he showed out in that game too, and he was one of the better players on the floor in that.
It was a McDonald's All-American game. But that's fine. It was close enough. You're right. All right. Look,
I thought he was. He was in the McDonald's All-American game.
No. I meant it from the game I just watched.
That
USA
wasn't the okay. Yeah. Oh, it was USA. Oh, okay.
What's the dude's name?
But still, McDonald's All-American, and he shows out. I mean, those are the top recruits in the country.
No, you're right about that.
This everything that he's done. It's the exact
Nike Hoop Summit. That's what it was.
Okay, nice. That's also good.
Yes. These dudes were no joke. I mean, it was really fun to watch that. And Cooper Flag is
yeah, that dude's legit.
Yeah,
Duke's got a good one.
He is next level. And some people are already talking about tanking for him.
Should the Sixers?
6'9". He can shoot. He was named the Gatorade Player of the Year, 16.4, 7.5, 3.8, and 2.7 blocks. What is it? Montverde. That's where Ben Simmons went. Montverde Academy. I want to say that I'm saying it right. And that Team USA was just loaded. Yeah, the kid Ian Jackson was no joke. Again, I don't know how you compare it, but we'll see how it plays out. All right, to tonight's game, once again, for me, the difference comes down to 2 players. It's D'Angelo and it's Austin Reeves. And as far as points are concerned, 14.5 for Austin Reeves. Give me the over on that one. And D'Angelo Russell at 16.5 minus 135. I can get down with it, but I'm leaning more towards Austin Reeves. He had a better performance in that game on Sunday. He actually went for 20, 3 for 7 from downtown. D'Angelo had 19. So both cashed as far as their player prop is concerned. In that game, I would expect it to be the same. And that's the key. If you get production from those two, if those guys can help you out, because you know what you're going to get from Anthony Davis and LeBron James, I think they win that game and move on in advance. And for the people that want to put out there, these teams need to look to losing because of the matchup better versus a 7 seed or an 8 seed. Like, stop talking, please. Like Mike Greenberg, please stop talking. You don't.
Yeah, good luck getting that to happen.
You don't need it to. First of all, it's a play-in tournament, so nothing's guaranteed. It's not the playoffs. You need to win.
Wait, we call it a play-in tournament?
Yeah,
that's what it's called. It's called play-in tournament.
It's the SoFi play-in tournament.
Oh, man,
isn't it?
Why is that a tournament? Again, it's glorified regular season. We don't have to call it. We don't have to call everything.
It's postseason.
It's sure. You can't tell me that 20 teams are remaining and that's the postseason.
Yes,
that can't.
SoFi
you can't
play-in tournament.
Great,
bring it on. All right, I did not get to give you the game that I love the most, and it is clearly the Warriors. And the numbers that they have shown us since the All-Star break are pretty eye-opening. This team has the look. We know the mentality is there. They're 2.5-point favorites tonight against Sacramento. This is a do-or-die situation. This is a Game 7 performance. And you're going to bet the Sacramento Kings to win this game over Golden State No way. The Warriors are my one play tonight that I love the most. We'll talk to Sean Barnard on the other side, see if he agrees, get a little bit more in detail as far as the numbers since the second half kicked off for the Golden State Warriors. I know we like to think that, it's not their year. This is the end of the run. I don't know. I think that they can go ahead and flip the switch and make this really interesting, especially.
Is it that easy though? Just go Lakers and Warriors and we're done?
No, but I do feel pretty confident over the Warriors. I'm not as confident
with
as
the Lakers. Okay.
Correct. All right, Sean Barnard's going to join us. We'll talk all things play-in, SoFi play-in tournament.
Sure.
With Sean Barnard
However
on the
you
other
want to call
side.
it. Tournament, extended regular season, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
You do you, NBA.
Hey, we get it. We got it back in our lives. That's all that matters. More daily takeback of this.
Picks and Roll, an NBA podcast featuring Sean Brace and Sean Barnard.
13.5, just too many points at this point in time of the year. I can't do it.
Team is one that on every night can give you a fight or can be for the taking.
Breaking down the matchups and analyzing the odds to help you score big. Don't miss out. It's time to elevate your game with Picks and Roll, available on the iHeartRadio app.
Hey, Sean Brace here for DraftKings Sportsbook. The NBA regular season is over. It's now time for the real season. Now, don't miss out on any of the NBA playoff action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. DK has it all from the play-in tournament through the NBA Finals. From every opening tip to every buzzer beater, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered with same-game parlays, live betting options, odds boosts, and so much more. Now, of course, here in Philadelphia, the 76ers are taking on the Heat in the play-in game on Wednesday night. We have our eyes on that one. Also, how about this first-round matchup? The Dallas Mavericks versus the LA Clippers in the first round? Let's go. New customers, listen up. Just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code BRACE. That's code BRACE to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. That's only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. You must be 21 or older, Pennsylvania only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Eligibility to deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/speedball. Gambler problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Introducing Rita's new frozen coffee made with Oreo cookie pieces, the perfect pick-me-up, available for a limited time. Or try our creamy cookies and cream concrete. Treat yourself to Oreo cookie goodness at Rita's today.
CEOs you should know, brought to you by Comcast Business.
Bill Golderer, President and CEO of the United Way of Greater Philadelphia and Southern New Jersey. The aspirational vision is to meaningfully and measurably reduce poverty and expand opportunity for all in our community. Our mission has become laser focused on poverty reduction and opportunity creation. So we take an inventory of all the work that's being done across our 9-county footprint, and we look for natural cooperation opportunities where we look for ways to bring high-performing organizations, and we incentivize collaboration and cooperation through greater financial investment in their ability to deliver results for their community. If you're someone who's like at a crossroads and you're trying to access resources, there's a helpline called 211. United Way powers 211, 24 hours, 7 days a week. If you need something, it's the most comprehensive resource guide that we have, and it connects people to things they need. I live each day with a deep sense of urgency that we have a contribution to make, and we need to encourage each other to make that contribution. Type into your phone, into your web browser. United for Impact is the best way to start your journey to know United Way.
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Hey, I got a question for you. You hate bending over to put on your shoes? Wish you could just put them on standing or sitting without ever having to touch them? If so, then I have the shoe for you. Introducing new hands-free Skechers Slip-ins. With new Skechers Slip-ins, you just step in and off you go. You don't even need to lace up. So how do Skechers Slip-ins work? Well, there's a special smooth comfort pillow in the heel that helps your foot slide right into place. So just step in them and go. Find new hands-free Skechers Slip-ins for the whole family at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need at the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they're guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is Katina Mobley. This is what's trending from iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Mercedes-Benz.
We'll start with hockey, where the Flyers will host the Capitals tonight with their playoff hopes hanging in the balance. Phillies got a win tonight and have Detroit lose 2 to stay in a hunt. Second straight win will be up for grabs when the Phillies continue their series against Colorado. Ranger Suarez takes the ball for the Phils. And Fanatics says it sold out a Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever jersey within an hour of her being drafted first overall last night. I'm Scott Davidson.
The superbly versatile all-electric EQB from Mercedes-Benz. It's impressively techy and surprisingly roomy, with available seating for up to 7. The vehicle is all electric. The vehicle is all Mercedes. Learn more at mbusa.com/EQB.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
95 southbound calling Academy to Betsy Ross, where we just got rid of a crash in northbound Jan Vine Expressway up to Bridge. Schuylkill Jam westbound University Teacher Warden Boulevard to Belmont. Eastbound Sapago Montgomery Drive to South. Total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America N.A. Copyright 2024.
In this week's Marketers Report, Angela Zapata, CMO Hyundai Motor America, discusses measuring audio.
The measurement capability within audio, I think, surprised all of us. We have seen a huge return on our investment. Seeing real numbers has helped us continue to invest.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the data, audiences, and influencers you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Presenting a Gain Flings love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
Is switching your wireless service to Total by Verizon easy?
Totalmente.
And you get unlimited 5G data, $25 a line for 4 lines on the unlimited plan at an amazing price with no contracts. Should you switch to Total by Verizon? Definitely.
Totalmente.
Find a store or switch suavemente at totalbyverizon.com. Monthly rate when you activate without a pay plus taxes and fees. Discount begins the month after you enroll. Additional terms apply. See website for data management practices.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Friday, April 19th, Rec Philly brings you Stronger Together, a day of community, impact, and fun in partnership with Show Up Strong. Pull up, register to vote, and get an opportunity to get your rent paid or even $500 towards your business. If you're a music artist, content creator, brand owner, designer, photographer, or creative of any kind, passionate about community, impact, and fun, this is an event you don't want to miss. Friday, April 19th at Rec Philly. Register free at joinrec.com/strongertogether.
Your home for Villanova basketball is WDAS and WD273D. Fox Sports Radio Philadelphia.
I cannot stress the urgency enough.
Your shot to win $1,000 is right now. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Bank.
Bank.
That's bank. Enter it now.
You heard the man. Well, what are you waiting for? FoxPHLGambler.com right now. $1,000 up for grabs. Go and get it. Yeah, our cash contest presented by Gary Barbera on the Boulevard is back for the next couple weeks right here. You get an opportunity to win $1,000. That sounds nice. You heard the keyword. Get over foxphlgambler.com. Enter to win. Good luck. All right. It is a lovely day. NBA basketball is back in our lives. We got action. We got 2 good games, 4 good teams, and a number of ways to get involved with the action on DraftKings Sportsbook. Again, brace promo code. Let them know you're listening to us on The Gambler. All right, joining us right now via the Gambler stream is a man who just put out that he is hopping on the show, and he will tell us why the 76ers will dominate the Miami Heat tomorrow. Dominate. Sean Barnard, please clarify what domination means in your mind for the people out there.
I meant what I said. A double-digit victory for our Philadelphia 76ers tomorrow is fully what I expect. I'm at the point where I'm sick of this waiting around for the zombie Heat team. I'm trusting my eyes. This is not the Heat team that people should fear. I'm in on this Sixers team. This Heat team, they're just not as dangerous as people are trying to make them out to be. That I'm trusting what I've seen from them all season. Detail on that: 28th in field goal attempts, 22nd in field goal percentage, 26th in rebounding, 30th in blocks. They're bottom 10 in just about every offensive metric. They flirt in the top 10 for the couple defensively, 21st in offensive rating. And the leader of the charge right here, Jimmy Butler, I don't know if he's the Jimmy Butler that we're accustomed to. This is the same guy that I just watched Bogdan Bogdanović block him twice at the rim on the final game of the season. It feels like he does not have that athletic explosion that he once did. Maybe this is him packing it in. Maybe I'm going to eat these words, but I can only go off what I see in front of me, and I don't think that team has it.
All right.
That's 100% true, by the way. Like the only thing you kind of hang your hat on with the Heat is Heat culture, and they'll turn it on in the playoffs. And again, it's previous examples of the Heat doing well in the postseason and previous examples of the Sixers not. But yes, Barnard is right. This Heat team stinks. Like I am done. I'm not pretending that this Heat team is any good. The Sixers are much, much better than this Heat team.
And that's where I'm landing on that. Like, I'm with it. Like, I get the past flaws. We've seen this Heat team literally do this last year, and they didn't look particularly good in the regular season last year. But I kind of have processed it. I've thought about it in a bunch of directions, and I'm just going down with what I'm seeing. What's that, Bryce?
You processed it?
I've processed it. And I'm just going with what I'm seeing, that I'm looking at what we've seen all season, the example of this team, and I'm just going to call a spade, and I don't think this Heat team should be feared by any means.
5-point spread on DraftKings Sportsbook. Sixers favorite at home. That is the first game on tomorrow's docket. 208 is our total there. Yeah, look, there's not much I can throw your way. It's based off of my past feelings. It's what we've been through. Of course, you know, I want to believe that Joel Embiid is going to get out there and be 100% from start to finish. I don't know if that's going to be the case, so that's kind of holding me back. The moment, you know, this Miami Heat team has it in their spots. You got to say that they have shown some impressive victories, right? When they came in here and beat the 76ers. I know no Joel Embiid. That was a nice win by them. They beat the New York Knicks a couple weeks ago on national TV in the Garden. That was a big time win by them. They got 46 wins. I just don't look at this team as no slouch. I do believe that they are going to be putting up more of a fight on Wednesday night. And of course, you're going to get more from Jimmy Butler than 15 points or whatever it may be. Jimmy's going to go off. I think Jimmy's going to be extremely aggressive. And those shots seem to fall for him in playoff time. That's why he's earned the nickname. So I think this is going to be a tight damn game. There's no way in my mind that I can get behind domination. I hope you're right, though. There's no, like, I hope people don't think that I'm, you know, over here all of a sudden dressed up in a Miami Heat jersey. I do like the black jerseys. You know, I did own a LeBron James jersey when he went there.
Oh, my God.
I got that.
Of course you did.
I did. I got that as a, to poke fun.
Was it the poke fun?
It was to poke fun.
Oh, that's that's your reason.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, sure.
But I was a LeBron guy in Cleveland. I love LeBron in Cleveland. And then he left, and I said, I can't bail on him now. But then I didn't like how that felt. But I do think that this is going to be a really tight game, and it's based off of, I don't know, like, is Martin going to go for 25, right? All of a sudden he lights it up. Bam, he can't miss. Just stupid stuff seems to happen when these two teams match up or when the Miami Heat are in the playoffs. And that's where my vibe is right now. But it's a 5-point spread.
Sounds like you guys need to bet it on the cut app.
Oh, yeah, it is on the cut app. We are putting it in on the cut app.
Good.
And he was giving me 4.5 yesterday. Now I'm taking 5, just so you know.
I'll take whatever.
Yeah, look, if he's saying double digits, you should be able to at least go up to 5.
And what about 9.5? We going 9.5?
No, gosh, don't do that, Bernard. Don't do that, Bernard.
Come on.
Make sure
I'll
you're
lock
getting
in
a
the
good
-5. I'll lock in the -5.
All right, we'll do 5.
-5 is good.
Let's do that.
All right.
As far as health is concerned, talk to me about this rotation for the 76ers.
Well, can I just get straight to Embiid? Is Embiid healthy? Because we have seen him through these 5 games. At one point, he did walk off and had to get off the court because he was hurt. Is Embiid, what is the percentage you think through the 5 games you saw and what we saw with him leaving the court? How healthy do you think he is?
Yeah, so we have to judge off the puzzles that the Sixers have for us here. We can only.
I'm asking you to solve the Riddler questions in Batman. Good luck.
But based on what we know, so he did look like he tweaked something in that Magic game, even though they're saying that there was no swelling, no issues, no structural things, and it could be something as far as the scar tissue moved, and that does cause pain, and feels a little weird, and basically what is somewhat of a new knee for him right now, even though there's nothing structurally that was changed in that. So he did play that second half. He didn't look like he moved quite the same to my eyes. He sat on Sunday. I do believe that was precautionary, that I think the calculus from the Sixers end of things is that we don't control our own destiny anyway. This is a Nets team that we should be able to take care of business without Joel Embiid. So I don't see the need for him to be out on the floor, especially against a guy like Nick Claxton, who has had his battles with Embiid, and Embiid's picked up his injuries directly at the hands of Claxton in years past. So I think that was all factored in the decision for him not to play. He's been a full participant in practice every day since that point. He's expected to have no restrictions, no holds bars as of tomorrow. I think he's going to look healthier than people expect. I think he's probably in that 85 to 90% of himself right now. And frankly, you absolutely take that at this point in the season. And the 85 to 90% version of Joel Embiid is still better than 90% of the NBA.
Yeah, no one's going to deny that. It's just, okay, does he get through the full game? I guess that would be my and you need to bring out a crystal ball on that one, but that's where I'm at, right?
I'm more long term.
Well,
can he survive these long series, and is he going to pick up a nagging injury here and there? What's going to happen?
I'm already negative Nancy with that conversation. I don't even think he gets through tomorrow night's game without some sort of discomfort, without some sort of he's got to go to the locker room, something like that. And I just think this is what we're going to have to deal with. As always, you could just replay this year after year after year. We're going to have to deal with this. Here we are, to the point that even with Keith Pompey's reporting yesterday that, he's expected to play. I hope so.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that from Pompey, the way that was phrased. That when you actually listen to the full clip of Nurse, it sounded basically like there's pretty much zero chance of him not playing. So I think that might have been done up a little bit there by Keith.
So the other end of that is Tyrese Maxey, obviously a lot younger, not dealing with a lot of injuries, but there was something interesting he said in his second year when they made the postseason that he wasn't 100%, and this year he feels the best he's ever had. Can we expect maybe, because once you get to the postseason, stars have to play better, and Embiid is part of that as well. Play better in the postseason than you do the regular season. I think the same goes for Maxey. Can we see a jump up in performance for Maxey? What do you think his role is like in the playoffs? Because last year was still Harden and Embiid. This year it's Maxey and Embiid. Maxey has to be a huge part of this.
Yeah, and as much as we've talked about the injury to Joel kind of paving the way for him potentially to be in a healthier situation here, I think in the other direction, it's been really beneficial to Maxey to have opportunities where he's treated like the direct number one on opposing. And specifically these past couple weeks, what's jumped off the page to me most from Tyrese's game is he's finding these moments in the game where it's his turn to take over, where that little burst where I'm running the show, here's a quick 8 points, 2 step back 3-pointers and a blow by layup. That's an 8-point just shift of the game. He was pretty open about how he's kind of prepared his body differently this year, ready for the long-term stretch. This takes a little bit when you're kind of getting used to the NBA grind. You kind of mentioned it a second ago, Jansen, but the playoff run is much longer than people kind of recognize. The finish line's still quite a bit away at this point in time. So I do think he's ready for the moment. And then specifically as it kind of pertains to the 2-man game with Joel and Maxey, I'm very excited to see this translate in the playoffs. That I think this system with kind of the 2-man action that they have, the off-ball movement, the different variations that they play off each other, I just think it's built for postseason success in the way that none of the other duos with Joel really have been. When you think about James Harden, how predictable it kind of became, that they obviously the efficiency numbers were great, but you knew exactly what they were getting to in every possession. Ben Simmons, the limitations that were that. Even Jimmy Butler wasn't the 3-point threat that we see of a guy like Tyrese Maxey who can space the floor, all these things. So I'm very optimistic about it. And I also think Embiid trusts Tyrese in a way that like is a huge step for him, like a career high in assist rate, assist percentage for Embiid. He's making better passes. He's executing at a higher level. It feels like this is more of a team effort for this Sixers team heading into the postseason, which I think has been the downfall of the team in years past.
Tyrese Maxey currently right now 23.5 on DraftKings Sportsbook. Is that a slam, a dunk, absolute have to play tomorrow night versus the Miami Heat, as he has been pretty dominant against this team all season?
Yeah, Maxey points and Embiid assists are probably my two favorite bets right now. I think the Heat are going to throw a ton of zone at Joel. And it's interesting, like we've seen, like if you want to compare it to the college basketball national championship, how UConn kind of took the tactic of Zach Edey can't beat us individually, that it's just going to be one, he can get whatever we want. With Joel, he kind of can have a day where he absolutely just beats you. And we've seen him do it against the Boston Celtics and a number of other teams. Again, this more pertains to the regular season. But I do think that they're going to put the focus of not letting Joel do that they are going to throw 2 and 3 bodies at him, force the ball out of his hands, and ask the other guys to beat them. I do think Tyrese is at the forefront of answering that. Buddy Hield's another guy that I like, and specifically in the zone defense, I think he's going to get some 3-point looks. So I like Embiid assist and Maxey points are probably my two favorite bets there.
Ooh, the same game parlay on DK. It's going to be heavy with Sixers plays. I can just see this one. Luke Arcaini checking in. He says, yeah, Maxey points is a whale play. He also says that Joel Embiid will never be 100% healthy for the rest of his career. It's not
and that's fair.
Possible.
Yeah.
I think we all are. We have
you
to
have
be
so
there.
many procedures on the knee. It's going to, you're not going to be 100%.
Yeah. And Joel said that too in the All-Star game where he was like, I can't do the slam dunk competition because of my knees. It's like he's 30 years old. We know it. And it's just the history, the career path. It is what it is at this point in time, for a lack of a better saying. It's just frustrating as a
it's more, you're right. It's more managing it than avoiding it entirely.
Because I thought,
but can you avoid like a facial fracture? Can you avoid that stupid stuff? Like that's the thing that also has been kind of bothering me too. Yeah. The knee injury stuff is going to be there always. Well, I mean, you have so many procedures on the knee, on both knees he's had it, that it's going to affect you. But the other stuff, the really stupid stuff that he's got, hasn't he gotten like hand fractures and things? Like he's got thumb, right?
Ligament.
Yeah, all of this stuff. Like if he can avoid stupid stuff like that, then I think it'll be better.
I thought that after I did. And whether, of course, if I'm wrong on this, then it's on me for thinking so. But I thought with the 8 weeks rehab, there's no way they're bringing him back if he's not healthy. Like with him doing what he did the other night on the baseline, it's just like, man, like I didn't think we were going to have to deal with that from here on out this season. But that's clearly not the case. As the one game out of the 5 that he's played since he returned on April the 2nd, he actually did ding it up, and they're giving him some time off. But that could be all precautionary. We could see what happens. And you know what? Nicks and bumps happen along the way. It's just whether or not he will be able to start and finish games and start and finish series. And that's what they need more than most at this point in time. To your point, though, I do want to bring up that the surrounding crew is better. I think you see this team play with fight. You got guys like Lowry out there. You got Buddy Hield that brings a little bit different element to this team than what they did last year. And of course, Maxey has taken that step up in the right direction this year. So maybe the supporting cast can be asked to do a little bit more. Is that fair for this upcoming playing game here and hopefully a series against the Knicks, Sean?
Yeah, absolutely. And Kyle Lowry, you just mentioned, this is a guy carrying quite a bit of a chip on his shoulder for this specific matchup. That like he's got to be thinking these guys traded Terry Rozier for me. And by the way, Terry Rozier will not be playing in Wednesday's game. That he's out with an injury, which I think that's a notable injury there for sure. But Lowry looked very good in this specific Heat matchup. He was the primary defender on Jimmy Butler for most of that game, and he looked terrific. That Butler kept trying to take him to the post, and Lowry just wasn't having it. And Lowry's just such an intelligent basketball player that he knows all the moves that are coming at him. He doesn't bite on the pump fakes, which that's when Jimmy's at his best, when he's getting you in the air, forcing himself to the line. And on the offensive end, Lowry's the guy controlling the pace from start to finish. So I think he's going to play a real deal factor. He's a proven champion, and there's a lot of other guys stepping up as well. So I do believe in the supporting cast more so than past years.
Embiid's turnovers have been, I think, the only real problem that I've seen through the 5 games that he's played. Is that just there are new pieces there that he has to kind of, work with and kind of figure things out with? Because I know turnovers have been a problem in the past for Embiid in the playoffs, but is this something more of he just has to get really a rapport with some of these new guys?
Yeah, partially and partially just catching back up to game speed. I would say that, I think to Joel's credit, he's made a conscious effort to grow as a passer this year. And that sounds crazy considering he's averaging 34 points per game, but still a career high in assists at 5.6. I think there's a lot more movement to this offense under Nick Nurse, which is another reason I'm optimistic when you see the backdoor cuts by Kelly Oubre and the pin downs that are being run for guys like Buddy Hield, that there's options that simply weren't there for him before. So it is him catching up to speed, getting on the same page. Buddy Hield's a guy that he never played with until he was returned from this injury, and other players like that. Kyle Lowry, that he had never played with him because he was hurt when he first came to the Sixers. So it is still getting familiar. That's why all these days of practice are valuable. And I do think it's a different story catching up to game speed after that time off, but it's not something that I think in the long term I'm overly concerned with.
How much does the coaching advantage help in the Eastern Conference playoffs?
Absolutely a ton. And I know there's other scapegoats that you can throw out. We think about the Ben Simmons passed up dunk, and obviously Joel having moments where he did not shine, James Harden having his poor moments as well. But the bottom line is the Sixers have been at a coaching disadvantage really throughout the larger part of Joel Embiid's tenure. That even if you want to go back to the Brett Brown days, and you can make your argument whether Brett Brown or Doc Rivers is a better X and O's coach. I don't think either one of them have the championship pedigree to hang their hat on. And I know Doc's got the 2008 one that he loves to bring up there. But the bottom line is Nick Nurse is a guy who is the real deal, that he is a guy that has the creativity to pull something out, the just kind of guts to go with something. For example, Ricky Council a couple weeks ago against that Spurs game did not play for the first 3 quarters of a game. They needed a spark. He threw him in there for the 4th quarter. To Ricky's credit, he changed the game, left him in for the entirety of that 4th quarter in both overtime periods, and the Sixers straight up don't win that game without him. So I would expect some flexibility from Nurse. I saw a really cool chess battle between him and Spoelstra the last time they played. I think you could really argue that these are the top 2 coaches in the NBA right now, so it's kind of disappointing they both have to play on Wednesday. But yeah, Nurse is the real deal, and I do think that people are underselling how much of an impact that's going to make.
Sean Barnard joining us here, talking all things Sixers and NBA, and we will get deeper into the matchup tomorrow. Of course, try and find some winning wagers, a little bit more than just Maxey and Joel Embiid assist on that one. And oh, by the way, the Miami Heat plus 11.5 in Sean Barnard's mind, but we'll have some fun with that tomorrow. Hopefully that's the case. Let's talk about the 2 games we got coming up tonight, Sean. Looking forward to both of these games. I want to start with the Golden State Warriors and the Sacramento Kings. And the reason why I want to start there is, number one, this is my more confident play as far as the 2 games going off this evening. I definitely have more passion to hit send on DraftKings here. But I was extremely surprised by the record since basically the All-Star break. In 39 games, the Golden State Warriors are 27-12 over that span. This team has been balling as of late. And I know that they've had some matchups where they've lost to some better teams. I get that. Sacramento is not one of those teams. They've been, you talked about it yesterday, Malik Monk. Hoyer's not playing as well. So the depth isn't really there. From Golden State's perspective, you're seeing a little bit more of resurgence from Clay, I think. Draymond realizes how important he is with everything that's going on. Steph is still Steph. And Jackson Davis is coming into his own. And there is a little bit more depth with Golden State. I think Golden State is far and away the better team here and will come out on top, hopefully by more than 2.5 this evening, because that's the number on DK. Do you agree with everything I just said? Can you add? Can you subtract to anything I just said, Sean? Where do you stand on that game tonight?
Yeah, I'm on the same side as you. I will say I'm a little more confident in the earlier game as far as the side standpoint, and we will touch on that in a minute. But I'm not as high on Golden State as I think you are, but I have sold every bit of King stock that I do have at this point, that I do think that Malik Monk's the biggest factor to me, that not having him, he very much carries their offense during stretches of the game, the guy that's likely going to win 6th man of the year. And I mentioned this yesterday as well, but I'm hoping to at least see some talks for him to put on a Sixers uniform next year as he approaches free agency this year. Love his game, and I think he's very valuable to that team. Herter as well as a key floor spacer for them. This essentially becomes the De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis show, and both are terrific, but I just think there's a ceiling for how good that can be. This Warriors team, they look really bad to start this year. They've certainly looked better of late. I still don't think they're as dangerous as they have been in past years or capable of a real deal playoff run, but I do think they ultimately get the job done, get the win in a difficult place to play in Sacramento and cover that -2.5.
All right. Anything from you tonight as far as the player prop in that game, Golden State and Sacramento? I laid out you just know what you're going to get from the greats here. To me, it's about finding value and hopefully some more points from or whatever prop you want to go to, whether it's rebounds, assists, whatever it may be. But looking at a guy like Jackson Davis, as I said, he's at 8.5. With not so much Wiggins, but Klay Thompson has been coming on strong here, basically in the whole month of April. He's at 19.5 at even money. Anything for you in that one from either side as far as player props are concerned?
Yeah, there's not a ton that jumps out to me. There is a little special they're running on DK now that I did want to shout out, though. The double triples, which is 2 players to get a triple-double during the play-in. I think there's enough guys that have a chance. Sabonis has been right in the mix on a near nightly basis. He's running 50-plus games with a double-double streak and has double-digit triple-doubles this year. I think LeBron and Zion each have a chance in the late game. I think Draymond's got a chance. So that's plus 270 odds for that. I think that's worth sprinkling a little bit on there, that I think there's enough ways that could play itself out.
That carries over to tomorrow as well with the 4 games.
I believe this is just no, it does, because it mentions Bam in here. So yeah, this is all 4 games at plus 270. So I like that value quite a bit there.
Nobody's getting a triple double in the Sixers Heat though, right?
Maybe
Bam, JoJo.
Maybe JoJo. JoJo's definitely within. JoJo's a chance. I think tonight's the hot spot night for it. That I think it very much a chance of 2 guys scraping it. I mean, LeBron in this specific Pelicans-Lakers matchup, he had 27, 17, and 11 on Sunday. I think LeBron's pretty likely to get one. Zion's going to be right in this mix, and I think Sabonis as well. So those are probably my top 3 most likely candidates. I'm kind of surprised to see that all the way up at plus 270. So I think that's worth throwing a little on.
All right, next game up, and it's the first game on the evening, 7:40 p.m. Lakers and Pelicans. Lakers are catching a point. Pels are favored here, 224.5. Kind of has me scratching my head, but who cares? Put that to the side. Odds makers have been wrong before. Lakers are definitely the better team here. One factor that has my attention is Zion and the Pelicans lost to the Lakers in the play-in game last year. And I was reading an article on NBA.com where they were saying, Zion, I didn't have my foot on the gas pedal. So I expect Zion to really bring it this evening. I don't think that's going to be the ultimate difference maker. To me, it comes down to Anthony Davis's health. If he's able to go and he's Anthony Davis, then I have no issue in my mind that nothing is swaying me that the Lakers aren't going to come away with that victory. But if Anthony Davis is dealing with those back spasms and he has to sit a little bit in the game and he's not able to be the full AD that he's been throughout the course of the year, this could be a Pels game that they're able to pull out. But again, if healthy AD, and LeBron, of course, we know is going to be doing his thing, it comes down to Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell for me. I'm firing on Austin Reeves. I think it was 16. I want to say, no, it was even lower than that. Let me pull that up there. As far as player points are concerned, 14.5. He went over that number on Sunday. I like Austin Reeves. And like I said, if the health is there for AD, I expect this Lakers team to go over. From the Pels position, I would look at, of course, Zion, as I just said, having him being aggressive from start to finish this evening. Hopefully that's the case. Where do you stand on this game, Sean?
Yeah, I like the Lakers to win it. I do think that they have flipped the switch a little bit, that they are a team that I'm believing in. And the Pelicans, to their credit, have been playing far better basketball. I do think ultimately that both the play-in tournament shakeout, the teams currently as the 7 and 8 seeds are who advance into the playoffs and have a chance in the 7-game series. But I do believe that this Lakers team does mean business. They do have a little bit more of the look in their eye than I expected to be the case at this point. I think you're on the money with Zion as well. But if I'm looking at a player prop direction, that's exactly where I'm looking. And I look specifically in the combo department, 37.5 points, rebounds, and assists. They're at their best when it's Zion getting a rebound, pushing down the other side, and either attacking the rim or kicking out to shooters. The Pelicans love to play with that trailer 3-point shot. It's a lot of times either Herb Jones or Trey Murphy being the beneficiary of that. Trey Murphy specifically is a guy that I think there's some value in. He's a real deal, high-level 3-point shooter. Herb Jones has shot the ball far better than he's gotten credit, specifically of late. I also like D'Lo's 3-pointers at 3.5 at plus 120. He's a guy that's quietly been one of the better shooters across the entire NBA, really over the past couple years at this point. And I think he gets a little extra criticism because of those bright lights in LA, but he's turned himself into a very good basketball player. So I like that, but I ultimately think that this Lakers team does mean business. I think LeBron's going to have his fingerprints all over this game from start to finish and does enough to keep it out of reach. So I do think the Lakers win, and I do think that Zion 37.5 points, rebounds, assists is my favorite player prop.
I was able to tuck into that a little bit there. I like that. I like that. Any thoughts on Anthony Davis? Of course, it seems like it's a story out there with LA, not so much.
Just tell me it's not going to be one of those where Anthony Davis plays, but then he's out in like the first quarter, and then we're like, oh, okay, sure, Anthony Davis is hurt.
Yeah, everything I've read and seen has been incredibly positive about his chances. But I'll be honest, watching that game Sunday, I was concerned right away that it was like he literally set a screen, started to roll, and then all of a sudden, like the whistle got blown, the ball went out of bounds, and he's just immediately grabbing that back, went over to the scorer's table, that he's bending over to the scorer's table, like stretching his back out on it, laying on the floor. And it's like, all right, that doesn't look good. And they're saying it's just spasms, that he's all good at this point. It's nothing that's going to linger. I do hope that's the case, because I mentioned this as well. In general, I'm a pretty anti-Anthony Davis guy, that he is a guy that I'm left a little underwhelmed by in general, but he's been terrific this year. Played a career high 76 games, which is a huge testament to a guy who has the nickname of Street Clothes Davis by a lot of people. So I do shout out him for being as available as he has been. It would be a bummer if his body's letting him down now.
Yeah, Street Clothes Davis. Was that Stephen A, or was that
was that Kendrick Perkins?
I think it was Perk.
I think it was Perk.
Wow. And Perk's tossing shots at Shaq and Charles Barkley said they don't watch the game. So I was like, damn, a Perk is calling.
And Perk does.
I think Perk watches the league. I'd say Perk watches the league a little bit more than those guys.
I think that's fair. And he also voted our boy Tyrese Maxey an All-NBA second player. So I'm not going to come at Perk today by any means.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. That's okay.
I
wasn't familiar with your game, Perk.
I'm not a Perk
wasn't
guy.
Familiar.
Yeah, I'm not a Perk
You guys
guy.
had your little spat. I remember that.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a Perk guy, but I'll give him the thumbs up on that one. All right. Some other odds and ends before we let you go here, Sean. Last night, the numbers are coming in. This WNBA draft apparently went over 2.5 million.
Wow.
And it's the first time ever that it's been over 1 million viewers. They up from 572,000 viewers last year, 2.4 this year. It's the largest audience of any kind in 20 plus years. A 300% increase from a previous all-time high for the WNBA. One of the big nuggets that came out of last night's draft was that the commissioner said that, Philadelphia is one of those places that they were looking to expand. I don't know, other than the fact that this is growing in the right direction, and of course people are paying attention to the girls. Like, would it be successful here in Philly? Would it be, what is it based off of the WNBA franchise being successful here? Because to me, it comes down to location. If they're playing at the Wells Fargo Center, I think they do have a shot. If they're playing downtown, but people are like, where else would they play? Just point blank, I'll go off the Philadelphia Union perspective. You put a team out in Chester, it's tough to get people there. And I don't know if that would be the right move. And I think it was a mistake for the Philadelphia Union. We don't have to go down that path. We've already discussed that 100 times over. But I do think a WNBA franchise would be, one, warranted. Number two, would be successful here in Philadelphia. Where are you at with that conversation, Sean?
Yeah, I agree with you, and I do hope it happens. And from like a logistics standpoint, I think there's a pretty clean way to swing it where the Sixers get this beautiful new arena, and that the WNBA franchise could slide in and play at the Wells Fargo Center. And I think like there is a world where that's very successful for everyone. I think what we're finding out, and this is really no secret when you think about the NBA and how this is kind of directly translated to the WNBA, but it's stars that get butts in the seats, that it is these Caitlin Clarks that are drawing the attention, these Steph Currys, LeBron James. So it's starting to be that these girls, these stars in the WNBA do have this name brand recognition, the Angel Reeses of the world. There's more and more growing out there. So like, I think that's ultimately what drives success when you talk about these teams. I do think we're going to see some record numbers for some of these new teams that are popping out. I mean, like the Illinois, or I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank on the team name. The first overall, where Caitlin Clark's playing.
Indiana
Fever.
Yeah.
Yeah, Indiana Fever.
I got a fever.
Yeah. Like, I think we'll see some pretty record numbers for their viewership and ticket sales there, and we'll see how much that carries over. But I do think Philadelphia is a town that would embrace it. We know how passionate it is as a sports fan. I think it's very strong in kind of the women's sports fan in general, too. So I think it would directly translate, and I do hope it happens.
Yeah. One thing I think that's underrated about this city is I know, the Phillies are going to always dominate the summer, which is when WNBA plays. But I think the difference is this city loves basketball all year round. Like this is a 100% basketball city. Even if the basketball here sometimes isn't great, the Big Five isn't good right now. The Sixers have been disappointing, even though they've been really fun and good to watch, an MVP player. But when this city has good basketball, they embrace it more than most cities.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, there's plenty of women who've left their imprint in the Philadelphia. I mean, Dawn Staley is a perfect example, obviously a reigning champion. And if there were to be a franchise, she deserves the first phone call as a potential head coach to launch everything. I don't know if she'd be willing to step away from the college level. She's obviously having a ton of success down there as is, but there's plenty of people that I think could help carry that torch, get things up and running. And I do think, like, when thinking about the markets that they could still dive into, I think Philadelphia really should be at the top of their list. So I do hope it happens, and I think there's a real chance.
I don't know how fast it would happen, but here's the deal. If they can get Juju, because she'll be the number 1 overall pick, whether it's next year or the year after. Hopefully she stays, and then give a little time for a franchise to get in here. And then all of a sudden, we get some magic where Juju comes to Philly.
Yeah.
You're right about that, because Juju is impressive to me. I think she's the best college basketball player in the girls' game, even better than Caitlin Clark. But of course, Caitlin deserves all the love and credit, and there's no doubt in my mind that everybody was watching because of Caitlin Clark last night. I do want to say that was a very rough draft from a viewership perspective. I don't like it. It needed buzz. It was very tight. It was very and all I would say is just open it up. I don't think it was a fan friendly environment. I think it was more along the lines of like close acquaintances and family members were invited. I don't think you can get a ticket, is what I'm saying. I could be mistaken, but it was it felt awkward at times.
That's the progression of the league.
You're right.
Like that stuff is going to come. Like, I really think that stuff is going to come very soon for this league if they capitalize on it. Now, like the WNBA hasn't always been the best organization, and even the players will tell you that. So this is a chance for them to capitalize on something absolutely big and to grow the women's game even bigger. So it's up to a brass there that sometimes hasn't been the best.
Bring it to Philly. Slide them into the Wells Fargo Center. Yeah, that'd be cool. That would be cool. We'll see how that one works out. All right.
More sports in Philly is good.
Absolutely.
I want the new arena.
Union WNBA team and the Phillies all going at the same time. Give me all of that. Give me sports to watch every single night in Philadelphia.
Oh, I totally agree with you on that one. And I would say I want the new arena though for the Sixers.
Wouldn't that be the draw though? Is that you have two, an NBA and a WNBA team now? You have two basketball teams, and maybe that one hosts some of the Big Five teams, because I think Villanova is always going to have the Wells Fargo Center.
Yeah,
but maybe that's a chance for this arena. It's a big deal for St. Joe's to be there, or it's a big deal for Temple to be there, or something.
Interesting. Well, we'll keep our eyes on that one. All right, Sean. Before you get out of here as well, a couple of odds and ends, as I said. Bronny James, we were yelling about him earlier today. And it's hard to put this into a question here, but let me just try with this. If he's not LeBron's kid, if his name is Bronny Brace,
it's a terrible name.
And like, we get it. He went through what he went through right this year. Let's say he doesn't have the health issues and he's really going to stay in college another year. Is he a rotational player at the NBA in your mind? Is he an NBA player? Again, you got to take away the fact he's LeBron's kid, because he's going to the NBA. He's going to get picked up by somebody. I don't care if it's in the draft or free agency, whatever it may be after the draft. But if he's not LeBron's kid, how good is Bronny James? And of course, you got to put the health to the side as well.
Yeah, I mean, at this very moment, Bronny Brace would not be touched in the top probably 90 picks of this draft, unfortunately. I do think like there is a world where he grows into an NBA player, and that's why I think like the right world is for him to go back to college, go play another year, because it was difficult. Like the heart injury or the heart issue was real deal struggle that he wasn't a part of any of these preseason workouts. But at the same time, like we can only look at what he did produce on the floor, and it was a really disappointing season that he played the 6th most minutes on that USC team and shot 19% on catch and shoot threes, shot below 30% from beyond the arc overall, shot 36% from the field, averaged under 5 points per game. Like he's just not there yet. And I do think there's a world where he can grow into it. I would really hate it for Bronny if this is coming from the, like, I'm in a rush to go play with my dad, or I don't know how long he has left. Cause like, just take your own path is kind of my outlook here. And like, I don't want to hate on the kid because I actually do like him a little bit as a basketball player, but he's definitely not there yet. Like he's a far ways from being there yet.
Yes, he is a player that usually his career arc would go 3 years in college, at least 3 years, maybe 4 years in college, turns into and develops into a legit two-way player, which he has the body type to do it. And also we've seen all the way up through high school in the McDonald's All-American game. He can be that. He's a combo guard. And then he develops into a rotational piece in the NBA. I agree. He's not there right now, but like that's not what his career arc is going to be. The only reason why it's accelerating is because his last name is James and he's
the only reason why he's going to the NBA is because of that.
No, I mean this year, yes, but not in 3 to 4 years. He would not be going to the NBA because he's LeBron James' kid. It's because he develops into an NBA player, which he can. This is like you don't become a McDonald's All-American by just being LeBron James' kid, and he played well in that game too. Like again, this is the career arc.
Well, now he's in college, and now it matters more what you're doing right now. What have you done for me lately?
Not every single year, not every single kid that comes out is going to be number 1 year. This amazing. He's one that's going to need to develop.
You are saying rotational player. Yes. That's not being dominant. It's. I just look at the global aspect. How many players are coming from across seas right now to get into the NBA to be a rotational player? You got to be damn good. Bronny's 6'3".
Yes, but he's already on that career path. It's not like the first year was going to happen and he was going to be that player. There was a legitimate and realistic expectation that a 4-star recruit who was a McDonald's All-American after 3 years in college can end up being that kind of player. Like that is so reasonable.
Yeah, but 4-star recruits don't normally do 3 years in college, though, correct?
Oh, yeah, they do. Yeah, there are some. Absolutely.
I know there are some, but my point is, if we're talking about somebody that plays in the McDonald's All-American game, they're not thinking 3 years. If you play in the McDonald's All-American game,
not every single one of those
you're
are
thinking,
1 year.
I need to get to the NBA.
That.
I'm going to the NBA. You're not thinking that. You're going to the NBA.
But Bronny James' profile did not scream 1 year in college. His profile screen, give me 3 years of development in college.
I think even best case scenario for Bronny is he is playing himself into more of like a Kentavious Caldwell-Pope type of player, or that kind of archetype of role player, which it's sad that he's always going to be looked at as kind of a disappointment because of, you're stepping in the biggest possible shoes as could possibly be filled for Bronny. I think it's unfortunate, and kind of make this comparison, like on that USC team, Isaiah Collier is expected to be a lottery pick on that team. There's like miles of gap between Isaiah Collier and Bronny James. And frankly, Collier is not a guy that I particularly love as a future NBA player either. But like just that specific example on his team, you can see like the areas that he just shines compared to Bronny. And like it just, I think, would be best for everyone if he's just testing the waters right now and going back to college for another season. I do hope that's the outcome here.
Yeah, I would believe that that's going to be the case as well. But, when your dad's LeBron, he's got pull.
And by the way, another reason why I've spoken like not being a LeBron guy pretty openly, like another reason for that, like LeBron had his little freak out of just let the kid be a kid when he kind of got left off the mock draft. You can't do that when you've also been openly talking about how Bronny can play in the NBA right now, or he's better than some of these cats that I'm watching on League Pass right now. So you can't have it both ways when you're LeBron either. The bottom line is these were the cards that were dealt. He is your son, and this is what comes with it.
Yeah,
that's the hope you have here is the situation he's in doesn't accelerate his growth way too fast, because if he has the time to develop, he really could end up being a decent NBA player. Mm-hmm. But he needs that time. He absolutely needs it.
No. Yeah. See what happens. I think he's going to go to the league, and his dad's going to get him pulled in.
That'd be such a big mistake.
Whatever. It's going to be pretty cool.
And to like compare this to a dude on the Sixers right now, KJ Martin is Kenyon Martin's son. Like KJ Martin, we kind of look at as like he's a fringe NBA player. He's 23 years old. Like he should be just like a rookie this year. Like he's the same age as Ricky Council IV, who we all love Ricky, and he's this up and coming young guy. They have very similar games, but KJ kind of took a similar path where he took the accelerated route. He jumped on one of these showcase teams, never went to college, and that probably was not the right route for him. And he's still finding a way to stick, still has a little bit of hope. Again, I don't want to give up on the dude because he's 23, but I think like if you had just looked at that for what's the best path for KJ Martin, not what's the best path for Kenyon Martin's son, I think like he could have been in a much better situation than he currently is. I hope Bronny doesn't kind of fall down that same kind of pathway.
All right, give me 60 seconds on this one. Blake Griffin, did he have a great career or a good career?
I'll go good career. I like Blake Griffin.
Oh, good career. Okay, why do you say that?
I mean, I think like the prime time of Blake Griffin was obviously, Lob City with the Clippers doing all that. He did have a more productive second half of his career than I think he gets credit. Stuck around with the Celtics for a little bit, played well for the Pistons. I don't think six-time All-Star. He's good. I don't think he's quite the like surefire Hall of Famer that he was really on the pathway to. He might find his way. I think he probably finds his way in there, but like, I think that he was on a trajectory that he probably didn't fully quite live up to, but he is a guy that I like quite a bit and was fun to watch.
I think you're spot on with that. I do. I would be more lenient towards great, but he didn't have any NBA all first team selections. He, as you pointed out, 6-time All-Star. He did have 3-3 as far as second and third team. He averaged 20 plus points in 8 out of the 14 seasons. Number 1 overall pick. Yeah, we'll talk about the Hall of Fame stuff. It's the Hall of Fame for basketball. So, of course, you can lump into college. It's hard to – he had a 14-year NBA career as a number 1 overall pick. Never won a championship. Slam dunk competition. He was pretty damn good. He was a great dunker. So, it won't shock me if he's in the Hall of Fame. But I'm leaning towards great over good. But Sean Barnard, he's a tough grader there. No curve for Professor Barnard at this point in time. Ooh, that sounds like a segment. Sean, great stuff. One winning play. What's your favorite play tonight?
Lakers money line. I think they get the job done.
All right, there it is. Good luck on those plays. We'll be back at it tomorrow, of course. Be sure to follow Sean at Sean_Barnard1. That's the number 1. And we'll be getting some fresh episodes of Picks and Roll throughout the course of this NBA playoff run.
Postseason editions of Picks and Roll. Let's go.
Tomorrow, of course, previewing the 76ers.
Hopefully a lot of Sixers basketball to talk about. Yeah.
We'll talk to you, Sean. Great stuff.
Sounds good. See you guys.
There he is, Sean Barnard on the Gambler Stream. Tell you what, one thing, we got Champions League soccer.
I was about to say, whoa, look at this. Yeah, PSG?
PSG and Barcelona is an instant classic. Apparently, Barcelona was losing their cool. They got a red card. Now down 1 aggregate, but 3-1 in today's game. All right, 5 o'clock hour coming up next. Luke Arcaini is going to join us. The Phillies. What the hell is going on with that lineup?
I don't want to talk about it.
Do they need to go out to a bar and just get it off their chest? What could we do to help this
team
squad?
Team meeting.
Call the team meeting. Is there panic in the air in the city of Philadelphia? We'll hear what Luke Arcaini has to say. I know John Jansen's concerned. The Daily Ticket rolls on back after this.
Stop at Rita's today and try their new frozen coffee made with Oreo cookie pieces. Be cool. Go to Rita's.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Turning into a busy Tuesday drive homeward, channel 95 northbound, Vine Expressway up to Bridge, then Cotman to Academy with fire department activity. The right lane's blocked. Southbound 95 jam Woodhaven to the Betsy Ross. This Schuylkill westbound stop and go University to Jeward and Boulevard to Belmont. Eastbound jam Blue Route to Belmont and Boulevard to South. Blue Route southbound lanes approaching Broomall to Media Swarthmore and northbound 95 past McDade and Pensacola, and 130 is blocked both ways near 73 with an accident investigation. All right, to tell it total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, N.A. Copyright 2024.
They're modern-day con artists, and they're the focus of Creating a Con, a true crime anthology podcast. Season 1 spotlights Ray Trapani and his tech startup scam, endorsed by DJ Khaled and Floyd Mayweather, and built on empty promises and millions from bilked investors.
If someone's like, oh, what's your best way of making money? I don't think start a business. I'm like, oh, we should start some sort of scheme. And I can't help it.
Listen to Creating a Con on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Creating a Con.
In this week's Marketers Report, we hear about the importance of local radio from Allison Griffin, head of marketing at State Farm.
iHeart has such a broad broadcast reach that is local, and for us to be able to touch customers with a local feel but at a national scale is so efficient and important for us.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, trusted influencers, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Presenting a Gain Flings love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
He's a former coach with two sons who played professional basketball. Satch Sullinger's a competitive individual, but his golf game was suffering because of painful joints.
Right. That's real important. The golf game. Right. As we get older, we create these bad habits because we're relegated to hit a certain way.
QC Kinetics used regenerative treatments, all natural healing properties from Satch's own body, to restore those damaged joints and get his golf game back on track.
QC Kinetics regenerative medicine is regenerating me, all natural. And that's what I'm about. I'm going to tell everybody why I'm better.
Oh, and by the way, looks like the competitive Satch is back.
We're all in the same boat, and I'm getting better, and I'm watching them stay old.
Go to QCkinetics.com. Get relief and your game back. Call for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000. That's 215-999-3000. 215-999-3000.
When perfect is in the air, you can feel it. Presenting the ultimate comfort system from Lennox. The most advanced heating and air conditioning system ever. Expect consistently clean and perfect air delivered by an eco-friendly system that's also the most efficient available. Maybe it's time to rethink your air.
Now get rebates up to $1,700, or qualified buyers get no interest, no payments for 12 months on an ultimate comfort system from Lennox. Terms and conditions apply. See participating dealer for details.
And Doug. Being a spokesperson's easy, kid. Just say, customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Customize and save with Liberty Bibbity.
That's not it.
Liberty Mutual. Liberty Musical.
Nope.
Lumberty, line.
It's 2 words. Liberty Mutual.
Got it. Don't not pay at libertymuttnoodle.com.
Wow. I guess I'll just do it.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com. That's a wrap.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
Picks and Roll, an NBA podcast featuring Sean Brace and Sean Barnard.
13.5, just too many points at this point in time of the year. I can't do it.
Team is one that on every night can give you a fight or can be for the taking.
Breaking down the matchups and analyzing the odds to help you score big. Don't miss out. It's time to elevate your game with Picks and Roll, available on the iHeartRadio app.
Great news. The cash contest is back. The Gambler and Gary Barbera on the Boulevard have teamed up yet again to give you a chance to put some bonus bucks in your pocket. All you have to do is keep it locked to the Gambler, and at the top of every hour, listen for the keyword and get over to our website, foxphlgambler.com, and enter to win $1,000. That's 9 times a day. So is the Gambler and Gary Barbera the best? Boy, I guess.
At Gary Barbera's Auto Palooza, you got a buck? You're in luck. All makes, all models, instant credit, $1 down delivers, and 50 of them from the land under 20 grand. Is Barbera's on the Boulevard the best? Boy, I guess.
Sean Brace here for DraftKings Sportsbook. Listen up. The 82-game preseason is in the books. Now it's finally time for the real season. Don't miss out on any of the NBA playoff action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. From the play-in tournament through the NBA Finals, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered with same-game parlays, live betting, and more. And if you're new to sports betting, it's super easy to get started. Try betting on something simple, like for a team to win. Go to the app, select your team, and place your first bet. It's that easy. And here's something else to sweeten the deal for new customers. Listen up. You bet $5, you can get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Now, new customers, just download DraftKings Sportsbook app now and be sure to use promo code BRACE. That's promo code BRACE to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. And that's only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. stores. You must be 21 or older. Pennsylvania only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Eligibility, deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/bball. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is your Tuesday Sports Minute, brought to you by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks.
NBA postseason tips off tonight. Play-in tournament in the Western Conference. 2 games. The Los Angeles Lakers in New Orleans to take on the Pelicans. Anthony Davis, back spasms. He will play. Pelicans a 1.5-point home favorite. LeBron James, prop bet. Over-under total points for him, 27. A Bay Area battle between the Sacramento Kings and the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry and the Warriors, a 3.5-point road favorite. Over-under total points in this one, 224.5. Signature bet, single game parlays. Build your own parlays. It's the NBA postseason. Lots of ways to take action.
BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. Or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net West Virginia. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
What's better than a Tuesday? Well, pretty much everything. But now KFC has $10 Tuesdays, which means you can get 8 hot, juicy drums and thighs for just $10. Son of a bucket, that's a good deal. It's also a pretty simple one, so we've got time to repeat it again. $10, 8 drums and thighs from Kentucky Fried Chicken on Tuesdays. It's $10 every Tuesday at KFC. $10 Tuesdays. Okay, I think you get it. It's finger-licking good. Prices and participation may vary. Tax, tip, and fees extra.
Power on this spring and summer with Batteries Plus. In stores and online too, you'll find batteries for your car, RV, boat, motorcycle, ATV, golf cart, and more. Life's waiting. Power on with Batteries Plus. Visit one of over 700 locations today.
Clouds will move in as we go deeper into the night as winds switch from the west-northwest to the northeast. That's more of a raw, chillier wind with low temperatures dropping into the upper 40s for most, around 50 for Center City. And a lot of clouds here for Wednesday. Showers start to arrive as we get towards the late morning and the afternoon hours, and a cooler high of 64. I'm meteorologist Adam Joseph with your 6ABC forecast.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
We've got delays on 42 south off the Walt Whitman down to Creek Road. In Pensacola, 130 is blocked both ways near Route 73 for an accident investigation. Schuylkill Jan up eastbound Blue Route to Belmont and Boulevard to South. Westbound Stop and Go University to Girard and Boulevard to Belmont. 95 northbound jam Vine Expressway to Bridge, and so Coppin to Academy. Southbound jam Woodhaven to the Betsy Ross. Slow Walt Whitman to the Girard Point Bridge and Ridley Park to 320. Larry Tortella, total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, N.A. Copyright 2024.
Presenting a Gain Flings love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
Stay tuned to Fox PHL The Gambler for the latest CEOs you should know.
Bill Golderer, President and CEO of the United Way of Greater Philadelphia and Southern New Jersey.
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Hey, if you're listening to me right now, I have one thing every business needs most: attention. Think about it. We swipe and scroll past stuff all day, but when we're driving, cooking, working out, we're also listening. That's the magic of audio at iHeart. We're in your next customer's ears while they're living life and listening, just like you are right now. So get your customers to listen up today using radio, digital, and podcasts. Call 844-ADD-HELP-5. That's 844-ADD-HELP-5.
What's better than a Tuesday? Well, pretty much everything. But now KFC has $10 Tuesdays, which means you can get 8 hot, juicy drums and thighs for just $10. Son of a bucket, that's a good deal. It's also a pretty simple one, so we've got time to repeat it again. $10, 8 drums and thighs from Kentucky Fried Chicken on Tuesdays. It's $10 every Tuesday at KFC. $10 Tuesdays. Okay, I think you get it. It's finger licking good. Prices and participation may vary. Tax, tip, and fees extra.
Hey, don't let your money lose value just sitting in the bank. Welcome to Investing Made Simple with Noble Gold Investments. Precious metals is a real hassle-free investment. You'll even get a dedicated one-on-one American specialist to help you. And for a limited time, get a free quarter-ounce gold standard coin with every qualifying IRA. Just use the promo code GOLD. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com now. noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Whether it's food for meetings or company events, EasyCater has everything you need to make food for work. And that means all you have to do is sit back and take credit.
Wow, a vegan and a meat lover taco bar? Jill, you're the best.
Oh, all I did was use EasyCater.
Take the credit, Jill.
Well, I guess I sort of
Take it.
invented taco bars.
Too far, Jill. Too far. EasyCater has everything you need to make food for work. 100,000 restaurants, one platform. Order 24/7 at easycater.com.
Your home for Villanova basketball is WDAS and WD273D.
I cannot stress the
Fox
urgency
Sports
enough.
Radio Philadelphia. Your shot to win $1,000 is right now. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Bills.
Bills.
That's Bills. Enter it now.
You heard the man. Well, what are you waiting for? FoxPHLGambler.com right now. $1,000 up for grabs. Go and get it.
I've been feeling kind of cooped up. I'm trying to get some fresh air.
5 o'clock hour underway. Cash contest as well. FoxPHLGambler.com. You heard the keyword. Enter it to win. Get some bonus bucks courtesy of our friends over at Gary Barbera on the Boulevard. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking all day about the NBA. But come on. Let's go.
Let's talk about a real sport.
Oh, come
There
on.
it is.
What are we saying like that?
There it is.
We saying it like that.
Nothing moves the needle like the SoFi play-in tournament. Right? Come on, we got good games coming up this evening. We also have
play-in
full card of Major League action back on our plates here, courtesy of our friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook, where we're getting our numbers from. But joining us live on the Gambler stream right now, it's our MLB insider, all things Phillies, the one and only Mr. Luke Arcaini. Luke, I believe you got out there on this beautiful day in the Delaware Valley and played 9. Is that the case?
I did. I got 9 in after work, and I actually hit the best 9 of my life today. So that was fun.
Well done.
What'd you shoot?
I actually hit a 38 today. I went par, bogey, first 3, and then the rest were all pars. So only
Luke will definitely be in the
over.
foursome for swinging and ding it this year.
Listen, I'm there. Let's do it.
We're
in.
bringing somebody that can
And I'll
actually.
be broadcasting, I guess.
Bringing the
Probably.
heat.
I don't get to participate in these things.
Well, I want to win.
Me and Bernard will be working. Like we
Let's
always
win.
do.
We're not playing for a
What do
participation
you mean?
trophy.
Last
here.
time we went out, I was better than you.
No, that's not the case.
No,
We're not playing for a participation
What I would say
trophy.
is, like I want an opportunity to win. I haven't been. This is our 4th swinging and ding it open. I haven't had a foursome that felt confident. All right. I want to put together a damn foursome this time. All right. We got Luke. He's going to step in there. We're going to get some other people. Who knows? Kruk played with us last
Where's
year. Maybe we
Kruk?
get Kruk.
Yeah, I was gonna say get Kruk in there. Yeah.
That would be good. All right. Speaking of the Phillies, let's talk about them. And
Oh.
this terrible offense.
They
right
suck.
now.
Sure you want to do that?
Yeah. They're playing the Rockies, and they're a minus 258
They're
favorite.
playing a AAA team, and they could barely get 2 runs off of them.
So is the play the money line, or is the play the Rockies here? That's the question. Ranger Suarez on the mound for the Phillies here at minus 258 on DraftKings Sportsbook. 8 is our total. Is the under the play here at even money on 8 Citizens Bank Park this evening.
I would look more towards Ranger than any team here itself. It's still hard for me to bet on the Phillies offense right now. Just with kind of what they've shown you. Ranger Suarez outs recorded is it's 17.5 right now.
I would maybe look at that to record a win -105. It's hard for me right now to touch any bit of this Phillies offense and their props just until they kind of show it. If you get embarrassed by Bailey Falter, Marco Gonzalez, and just these guys that these opposing teams are rolling out there right now, it's bad. So I wouldn't be placing any money on this Phillies offense right now. I would look more towards Ranger, maybe look towards strikeouts. He's at 6.5 right now. That's always kind of an interesting number for Ranger. But I mean, this Rockies offense really is not that good. So I would maybe look at that, but that's really it for me.
All right, let's talk a little bit about this lineup right now.
Yeah.
Ugh. What the hell is going on? Like, take it where you think their number one issue is at this point in time, and why is it such? Is it just the fact that they got to work this out? It's April 16th. Is this something that we should be concerned about? But this is ugly baseball. And then, look, at the end of the day, if I don't have money on it, I just want to tune in and be entertained. I haven't watched the Phillies game in quite so. Yeah, look, they win, and that was great. They won last night, but it's not fun.
I mean,
to
they were
watch.
hanging on for dear life.
Yeah.
Thankfully,
Yeah.
pitching-
So I want to read a few of these to you. This is their current offensive ranks in the National League. They're 11th in hits. They're 9th in home runs. They're last in RBIs. They're striking out at the 5th most rate. They're 13th in average. They're 13th in on-base percentage. They're 14th in slugging, and they're 14th in OPS. So, I mean, they are a bottom 3 offense in the National League right now, and they are about a bottom 5 offense in all of baseball. The only reason they are really winning these games right now is because of their starting pitching and their guys that are currently in the bullpen right now. Their starters across all of baseball right now, they are the first in ERA. Across all the National League. They're first in ERA, third in innings pitched, the least amount of earned runs, tied first for Ks, first in WHIP, 206 batting average against. The starters are going out and doing their job every single night. If this offense could put up 4 runs a game, they would be 8 or 9 games over 500. It's just they just can't hit. Bryce is going through one of the worst streaks I've ever seen from him. And it was at first he physically cannot get a ball to hit the ground. Now it's just he's hitting it really hard and it's just not falling. So I think that ball's obviously going to fall eventually for him. Castellanos has had some pretty nice hits, but he's still just kind of Lots of chasing. Alec Boehm hasn't looked great. Bryson Stott hasn't looked great. Brandon Marsh has looked awesome, but he's kind of taking a bit of a step back the last week or so from what he was the first week and a half. So I mean, it's just they just got to find a groove. I mean, I get it. They're knocking some rust off, but we're 18 games into the season now. Most of the rust should be off because a lot of the rust is off for a lot of these other teams right now.
Yeah, so I guess the question for me is, this has happened previously in the past 2 years, and they've at least been to the NLCS in both. Can they just overcome it every single year, or do we get to a point where sometimes it's just too concerning that, who knows if they're going to be able to, in the summer months, make up for what is a bad start?
Yeah, they need a bat. And I think for now you can kind of get away with it because obviously they're winning games. And all I asked really of this team in the offseason, we talked about this a bunch. If they wanted to hit that 90, 95, even 100 win mark, all they had to do up until June 1st was just play 500 baseball. Because once it seems like their trend, this core is once they get to June they go after that. They're great from June on. It's those first 2 months of the season where they really struggle. But how long can you rely on that? I don't know, because if this continues to happen and you get into May and into June and this is still happening, you're gonna have some decisions to make. They're gonna have to go get a bat. I mean, the obvious one is, I mean, if Mike Trout asks out, you have to throw the farm at him. It's like He's playing like Mike Trout again. I know we had some doubts about the injury, but he looks about as healthy as ever right now. He's hitting the absolute piss out of the ball right now for the Angels. It's nuts. So if you can go get some sort of bat at the deadline, that for me is probably going to be the number one priority once we get there. But listen, they're hitting really bad. I can't say I'm worried about it because I've watched it the last 2 years, and this happens every year. But it's something that going forward, and even in the next few seasons, they're gonna have to look into, because they can't afford these starts where Bryce Harper's hitting like 180 and Castellanos was down into like the 150 at one point. It's bad. It just can't happen.
Well, you just mentioned the one player that I'm most concerned about. Is Nick Castellanos getting to a dangerously close point of being absolutely cooked at the plate?
Yeah, I don't think so. The one thing I'm worried about a little bit is the power. He started to hit some balls hard these last few games, but it's a lot of chasing, and it's getting to a point right now where pitchers know exactly what they have to do when they get up there with Castellanos. You blow one fastball by him. If you get up in the count, all you do is just pump off speed and away. And he's either check swinging or he's swinging at everyone. He's sort of in that Javi Baez situation right now where these pitchers know they have one plan going in. All it would take for Castellanos is just to lay off the outside off speed. That's all it would take. He would walk way more. He would get better pitches over the plate because these guys aren't going to walk them every time. So while I'm not so insanely concerned about the swing on balls over the plate, I am concerned about him chasing, because it only seems like it's getting worse. And he has had some pretty good at bats so far. He's worked some deep counts here and there. But right now his bad is really ugly.
Yeah, and there was that video that floated around yesterday where dude,
the check swinging a ball in the outside the other batter's box.
It was 4 feet out of the other side. What is going on with Castellanos? Now, you were having some fun. Is it serious with Liam? Has he not been at the park this whole time?
Yeah, that was just kind of a bit of a mess around. But I know has
he not been to a game this year?
I haven't seen him. I would assume he's probably been to one.
He's in school, so I don't know, man.
He is homeschooled down in Florida.
Yeah.
So
we gotta get him to the citizens.
Are you giving us a report on where Liam Castellanos is? Is that what we're doing right now?
If it works for Nick Castellanos, then that's all that matters.
Nothing works for Nick Castellanos. He's a bad baseball player right now.
Oh.
He's bad.
Oh, so maybe when I said that was,
I think I'm getting to the point. I think he's cooked.
I said that was a bad contract and I would not have given it to Nick Castellanos, I caught heat. But now, look at what Johnny Sunshine over here is saying.
You're absolutely right. I think the previous 2 years he has declined, but there's been enough play that you can tolerate it. But this year is the worst of it. This year he's unbelievably bad. He is, I don't know. We're talking about Johan Rojas. Nick Castellanos is as bad as Johan Rojas right now. Nick Castellanos is extremely, extremely bad, and his profile, and you look at the Baseball Savant page and where he ranks in terms of percentile rankings. This is one of the worst hitters in baseball this season so far.
It really is.
He's awful. He's absolutely awful. But this is like a steady decline since he's been with the Phillies. Each year has been a steady decline, and he was a little bit better last year, but there were still things that declined to a point where you think, okay, maybe this guy just isn't good. And it's way far down from what he was in Cincinnati.
Yeah, my guy Meech tweeted this out earlier, said Alejandro Kirk, who I don't even know who the hell that is. He had an RBI double last night, leaving Nick Castellanos as the only qualified position player in the majors without an extra base hit.
Yeah, it's not good.
No, it's not.
It's horrible.
It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal right now, but that's all right. Hey, look, they're winning games, and they're one game above 500 right now, so that's a good thing. A long way to go. Nobody's panicking in these streets at this point in time. The positive, as you said, bullpen looks good. Starting pitching looks good.
Bullpen looks good?
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
Right?
It does.
I'd say bullpen's good.
Yes.
It's been fine.
Who doesn't? Who
Can I
doesn't
say
look good?
fine?
Who
Can I
doesn't
say
look good?
Well, Sir Anthony looks terrible.
Yeah, fair. That's the only one.
Yeah.
It's the only one. You
I don't
couldn't.
know.
You can't name me another one.
Hoffman's tackling people, breaking shoulders.
Fine. Matt Strom's been okay.
Let's see. Marte 117, Soto 169, Hoffman 216, Strom 235. Jose Alvarado's ERA is inflated from a 4 earned run outing. Other than that, he's been unbelievable. They're great. They're a great bullpen. Like, they're good, and like they are the least of our worries right now.
So we have.
Oh yeah, it's all lineup.
So yeah, so at this point in time, these things work themselves out, right? Yeah. We've been here long enough. We know that this season takes forever to complete. This team will find its stride. They will start to slug on a consistent basis, right? We do believe that.
Yeah. They are going to slug.
Like, because I look down the line,
I'm worried about that.
Schwarber is still doing what Kyle Schwarber does, right?
Yeah, I think
so. All right. So let me change that. If they're going to hit, I'm a little worried about the slug numbers.
Okay.
Just
so
a tad.
Schwarber's got 3 bombs already. I would assume I think Schwarber's going to hit 35 to 40 bombs again this year.
That yes.
Okay. Trey Turner's batting 299, hitting 299 at this point in time. He's looking good to me. I know he's not coming up with that opportunist, when the opportunity is calling on him the most, but still 299 is damn good at the end of the day.
Yes.
Exactly.
Best
Harper
average on the team right now.
Come on, we're not confident in Harper getting his swagger back.
No, he will.
Yes.
He will.
He hit 3 bombs in one game.
He will.
Okay.
He will.
So it comes down to Nick Castellanos.
He hit 3 bombs in one game. We've also played 16 other games, and he doesn't.
That's true.
But yes, he'll find it eventually. His name's Bryce Harper. It's fine.
It comes down to Nick Castellanos, and of course you got Rojas and that whole situation, and then you're switching off between Marsh and whoever else is filling in out there, whether it's Merrifield or Posh, whatever. Also, Bohm isn't pulling up he's not pulling his weight. What about JT in your mind? What's JT doing so far this season?
Yeah, JT's looked pretty good. JT's hitting the ball hard, which is nice to see because JT had a lot of soft contact pop-ups last year. JT will be fine. I think with the homers, he'll get to probably around 20. Marsh, while has started off great in the power aspect of the offense, I don't think these home runs will be extremely sustainable. I mean, on pace, he's on pace for 40 homers right now. Like, that's not going to happen. And I mean, if it does, then that would be absolutely nuts. I would say Marsh will probably finish around 20. I mean, with the start that he's had, he could push 25. I think there will be a point in the season where Marsh kind of has a bit of a fall off, kind of back to reality a little bit. Stott's had a rough start.
But he's going to hit for average.
I don't need Bryson Stott to hit 25 home runs.
No, he's not going to have the pop, but he's a guy that you get him in that position. He's going to come up with a clutch base hit. He's going to get on base. He's going to go 2 for 4, 3 for 5.
This is where Luke's right. Between Stott and Bohm, this is where the slugging comes into play.
Exactly.
And don't have enough slugging on this lineup.
You need one of those two. One of those two has to slug.
Well, we never
it needs to be Bohm.
Castellanos, Bohm, and Stott, all 3 of them have been really disappointing in that.
But why would we go into the season thinking Stott's going to go ahead and slug here? I never thought
had to.
I never thought that. I always thought I thought Bohm was going to have a better season as far as home runs are concerned, extra base hits.
At some point, these guys have to develop more into what they've been. Like, it's been fine what Stott is, but he was a top prospect with the Phillies that should be getting better, and he's not getting better in the areas that he needs.
He's struggling right now. I get it.
Stott for me just needs to hit for average. If
I'm right there with you.
Stott can give me 15 homers, 75, 80 RBIs, that's fine with me. Bohm is the one for me that needs to slug. I need my tall, bulky third baseman to be able to hit balls out of the park. And he's hit some pretty good line drives so far this year. He had a pretty good start to this season. He's definitely taken a step back over the last week. But Bohm is the one for me that I've said over the last few years that I think he has the capability to be a 25, maybe even a 30 homer guy. They're just not coming through. So maybe that's a bit of an adjustment at the plate, something. But Bohm is the one for me that definitely need some more homers out of.
All right. Let's keep it moving. And from the Phillies again tonight, we're playing the Colorado Rockies. And good luck. Like, I'm not going to be putting any money on this team right now. I took a bad beat when they lost to Bailey Falter on Friday. Yeah, it was brutal.
These baseball bad beats have been killing me, man. I had another situation today where I made a parlay before a lineup came out, and Adolis Garcia pinch hit with 2 outs in the 9th again.
You got to stop doing that,
dude. I know, but it's like both times it's a 2 out in the 9th inning pinch hit, and it's like, come on, man.
Yeah, it really is funny that it's happened to you so far like that. But not really all that funny. All right, the LA Dodgers have lost a few games in a row, including last night to the Washington Nationals. Padres took the series over the weekend, 2 out of 3 in LA, if I'm not mistaken. Anything there from the Dodgers? Because they were supposed to be a slam dunk to win that division and, of course, do bigger things. You know, from the odds perspective, I thought about it. I said, I'll take a little flyer on the Padres. Didn't fire on it by no means. I think I said it over the air, but again, didn't believe it. Just didn't want to put my hard-earned money on the LA Dodgers. I know it's early into the season, but right now, what are you seeing so far from the Dodgers perspective?
Yeah, I mean, they're not pitching great, which I think we knew coming into this season was going to be the biggest question mark. Can all their arms be healthy? Their run differential is only +10, which I think we thought with this lineup by now would be like +30, something like that through 18 games. If they get these arms going, I mean, I think they'll be fine, right? You get into a dead heat in the summer, baseball run through August with Ohtani, Mookie, Freddie, Will Smith. Like, that lineup's going to rake. Like, warm weather, like constant baseball games going into the summer. Once these teams are starting to get tired and these NL West arms are getting rolled out there against this Dodgers lineup, like, they're going to start crushing. I think it's definitely a bit of a start that I don't think they wanted. They're 4-6 in their last 10. But I wouldn't bet any other team right now to win that division other than them.
No, because the lineup's too good, but I am
it's just too good. That is the case, the rare case of a lineup can slug them all the way to a division title. Like
Now their problem is going to be when they get into the postseason. The pitching depth was a problem last year, and it's going to be
their issue for the last 3 years. Since the year that they won the World Series in 2020, the reason they won in 2020 was because their staff was so good. Their staff's gotten worse. They obviously lost Urias. You're not getting much anymore out of Clayton Kershaw, right? It's not. They have injuries. Walker Buehler's out. They're definitely kind of taking a step back there in the rotation, which I think that would be. What?
It's so bad that they had to pitch Connor Brogdon for a game.
Yeah, and his debut, he allowed back-to-back home runs his first 2 batters to face the Dodgers.
They need to get Walker Buehler up. He's on my fantasy squad.
Yeah, they need to get an arm at the deadline.
Oh, my God. He left the rehab start early. Oh, he got hit. He got hit by a comebacker. Okay. Woo. Scared to death. Scared.
They need an arm at the deadline.
Yeah.
They're going to need an arm at the deadline. But
there's your arm at the deadline right there, Walker Buehler.
Yeah. I don't love banking on a guy. I don't love banking on a guy who's been hurt to come back and
Tyler Glasnow could get hurt as well.
That's what they did. That's what they're banking
this is the thing. So I saw a tweet last night about it. Is that there's a lot of teams that are going to need a pitcher at the deadline right now.
Oh yeah.
What teams are going to who is going to be interested in acquiring these big name hard throwing arms right now with all these injuries? Like, I think teams are going to be a little more hesitant on these big name arms that are out there throwing gas every night. Like, I don't see teams going all in on a pitcher that they know is very, and I don't want to say anybody's likely to get injured, but these hard throwing, off speed throwing guys that are out there every 5 days throwing 100 pitches, 98 to 100 miles an hour every night. These guys teams are going to be scared about acquiring these guys. They don't want to sell prospects and big league guys for a pitcher that could just be hurt in the next few months.
Well, the problem with that is that likely those teams that are looking for pitchers already have injuries and have to kind of eat that risk.
Exactly.
That's
they're dealing with injuries and they don't want to deal with any more. Like that's.
But I think they would be desperate enough to bring on any kind of pitcher.
And I think they will. And I mean, you'll get that situation in years past, like you did with the Phillies. The Phillies will go acquire like a Michael Lorenzen type of thing, or like a Noah Syndergaard, like we did 2 years ago. Those type of inning eater who can kind of maybe pitch a game 4 in a playoff series, like those type of guys who don't have the craziest contracts, but
that is one thing about the Phillies I still love about their team building with the starting pitching is that they need a Lorenzen just to eat innings because the back end of the rotation hurt all the time, not very good. We don't know what the back end rotation is going to be like. Who knows what Taijuan Walker is going to be when he's coming back. I know he's in a rehab assignment now, but their first 3 guys are available almost every night. Like, especially in the postseason, those 3 guys have been available every postseason run for the last 2 years.
Correct.
That's why they win. Aaron Nola, you can hate. Aaron Nola is available every single start. Ranger Suarez, I know he's had some injuries, but for the most part, he hasn't had any long-term injuries, and he's not throwing gas. Ranger Suarez is available almost every night. Zach Wheeler, one of the most available pitchers in baseball. I know he dealt with an injury, a year ago or a couple of years ago at the start of the season. He's been fine ever since. The fact that the Phillies pitchers are available and the top-end pitchers are available as much as they are, that to me is where the Phillies always have an advantage.
And
where
obviously
the
the reason that these starter stats are sort of inflated right now is because I think Spencer Turnbull leads the team in ERA like that. And you're getting production out of Sanchez and you're getting production out of Turnbull. There's not a team in baseball right now whose all 5 starters are under a 4. I mean, I honestly could not believe. I would have to fact check that. I do not think there is a single team in baseball where all 5 starters in your rotation right now are under a 3.5. 3.5. Sanchez is the highest ERA with a 3.52 right now. That is the worst ERA in your rotation. Like, that is like really, really good.
All right, we're going big picture with you here so far, Luke, and maybe we can get into some games in just a second. But with the full card here, again, early in the part of the season, so a lot up for grabs, up for debate too, as well as I got to sneeze. All right, no, you don't have to sneeze.
Bless you.
Thank you. Cy Young right now on DraftKings Sportsbook. Zach Gallen plus 400, Wheeler 6-1, Freddie Peralta 8-1, Glasnow 8-1, Logan Webb 10-1, Yamamoto 12-1, Aaron Nola 15-1.
I didn't know
Dylan
Zach
Cease.
Gallen jumped Wheeler.
18-1 right now. Out of those, and you can't give me Wheeler at 6-1. Out of those 7 pitchers, who are you looking at right now? Is this a Zach Gallen award to lose? Because he's damn dominant this year, especially at home over the years. Glasnow is showing you enough. Again, leading the charge for the Dodgers. Where you at? Again, you can't use Wheeler in that one.
Can't use Wheeler. I've really been liking Freddie Peralta. He's looked really solid for Milwaukee. I think this was kind of a year for Peralta that I think people were very high on him. There were a lot of futures out there from the preseason on him. Right now, he's 8-1, only trailing Gallen and Wheeler. That would maybe be a price I would look at. I mean, other than that, these guys down on the bottom of the list, I don't really see much value here at all. Maybe, honest to God, I think the best price on the board right now may be Aaron Nola, 15-1. I mean, Nola looked great last night. Nola's curveballs looked really good this season.
And he got booed because he gave up the home run.
Yeah, and booing after the home. Dude, that was don't get me started on that. Nola's looked really good. He's looked really solid. We're getting into this stretch now. He loves pitching in the warm weather.
I was going to say, his numbers are going to get much better because his K per 9 is even lower than Ranger Suarez's, which is not going to be that way.
Nola usually throughout the season only gets better. He never really gets off to such a hot start. Kind of like the Phillies offense every single year for the last 50 years. But I mean, I only see Nola getting better right now. So honestly, in the most sort of unbiased way, I think Nola 15-1 is probably the best price for the National League. For the American League right now, Reagan's out in Kansas City. He looks unbelievable. He looks awesome. I do hold one on Tariq Skubal. I think I got him 9-1 when I got it. He's looked awesome too. Burns has been dominant. Grayson Rodriguez has looked really good so far for Baltimore as well. I don't really love any of the numbers down the line. If you did want to throw maybe a flyer on Rodon 20-1, he's kind of getting back maybe to old Rodon a little bit. And if they don't have Garrett Cole for a while and he kind of needs to anchor that rotation, there's going to be a lot of eyes on him. So if you would want to throw a flyer, I would maybe look at Rodon 20-1 there.
Interesting. All right. That's from the award perspective over there as far as Cy Young is concerned on DraftKings Sportsbook. All right. Let's go ahead and stay with DK. Let's talk about some of the games that we got coming up this evening. And, look, Baltimore has definitely got my attention. Of course, the Yankees at 12-4, but Baltimore is just a unit. They're taking on the Twins, and Rodriguez is on the mound this evening at -166, 8.5. Baltimore going to get the best of Minnesota this evening in your mind?
Yeah. I like the Orioles tonight, -1.5. I think if you take the better arm, better team at home, that's just kind of that formula for me there. The Orioles have they've hit righties really well this year. Ryan O'Hearn's a guy I'm going to be on tonight, bases hit. They looked really good. Orioles have been solid. I think they were one of the teams that I was the most high on coming into this season. Oh, yeah. And I think over the next, 150 games, while they're not at the top of the AL East right now, I think on October 1st or whatever that last game of the season is, I do think they will be. I think they're the best team in the AL East, even with the Yankees pretty somewhat hot start. But yeah, I would be on the Orioles tonight. It's a pretty easy one for me, I think.
There's money to be made on this team. Like last night, they took down the Twins at -127. Again, when you get Burns on the mound, you're going to be laying 200, somewhere around there, obviously, because he's leading the charge in the AL Cy Young market. But other than that, -140, 124, 117. And tonight, that's one of the higher numbers so far this season. But again, this team's dominant, and they're a unit, as they say. -166, I'd back that there. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's talk a little bit about the Angels and the Rays and Mike Trout, possibly to keep that hot bat. Do we have to hop on that and stay backing Trout with what he's been able to show so far, and whether it's total bases or if you do want to pop him to go yard, why not? Is he leading the league in home runs?
No, I think O'Neill is, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe it's Tyler O'Neill.
Yeah. No, Tyler O'Neill.
Okay.
It's either Tyler O'Neill or Mark
Ozuna. Be close. So no, they're tied with 7. Trout, Ozuna, and O'Neill.
Wow.
Those are 3 guys who have been just murdering the baseball this year. Yeah, I would just keep eyeing up Trout. I think one of my trends for betting this season so far has early in the season, you have to just ride the hot hand. Trout, I mean, I've taken Marcell Ozuna bases almost every game, and it's been one of the most profitable bets in the entire sport. Just guys like that can continue to do that. O'Neill, Trout, Ozuna, those big guys up there for the home runs. I would probably, what's that line tonight? Angels +124. I wouldn't really touch anything really there with the game. I would just probably look at Trout. He's been pretty awesome for the Rays so far. Aaron Savali, he's looked solid in his first few games. So I would probably just look at Trout there and not the Angels as a team. There is a play I do like though. Yankees, they are dogs tonight against the Blue Jays +100. I would go to the Yankees there tonight with Rodon on the mound.
Okay.
And then the San Francisco Giants -130. I like how they match up against Ryan Weathers. Jordan Hicks has looked pretty good so far. So I would probably lean Giants -130 there on the money line as well.
Why are the Yankees so good so far? 12-4 in the season.
Lineup.
Yeah, lineup. I mean that's kind of what it's been. But some guys that
their batting average is 13th in the league, so they're
it's
12th in home runs.
Soto is raking right now.
Yeah. I mean, Juan Soto's hitting 328. Anthony Volpe's hitting 373. He's looked incredible this year.
Yeah.
He's looked unbelievable. Aaron Judge is struggling, but he's still getting the ball out of the park a little bit. I mean, he's just one of those guys again that we know will turn it around. He's actually in the exact same boat as Harper right now. I think they have the exact same stats: 3 home runs, 9 RBIs, 194 average. Those all three are the exact same for Aaron Judge and Bryce Harper. So Aaron Judge is a guy that I think will definitely turn it around soon. There's no doubt there about him. But really the Yankees, some home runs out of Stanton. He's looked really solid so far. And then Volpe once again. Volpe's kind of been carrying the offense, him and Juan Soto right now. So I would lean Yankees tonight and once again just to back Rodon there.
Luke Arcaini, you are the best, my friend. Way to get us caught up on this early week here on All Things MLB. We're going to try and get together, record a Luke and I on the Phillies tomorrow before I head off to greener pastures down in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, another vacation.
Carolina. Yes.
Real quick, were we talking about Blake Griffin earlier?
Oh, yeah. Yes. What is your take on Blake?
Blake Griffin's dunk over the car in the dunk contest is the most overrated dunk in the history of basketball.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
I get that, but it was
one of the
more
first
for the
with the prop.
cinematic.
Yes.
It looked awesome.
It was
the prop was cool, but honest to God, it should never be replayed at a dunk contest ever because it was like a 2-foot hood.
But I believe Kia is a big time NBA sponsorship, so it will.
The Kia All-Star game. There you go.
Kia, baby. Kia. Exactly. Yeah, we were talking about you got a play in tonight. You got a winner as far as NBA is concerned.
Oh, NBA. I mean, I'm going to back LeBron. I think that's kind of a recipe for success, no matter. I think once you get into these playing games, I don't think he's lost a playing game so far since they've started. I think he's been in both of them each year. But I would lean, honestly, I think just roll with the more experienced players. I'm going to roll Lakers Warriors, I think.
Lakers and Warriors. I think a lot of us are. I am definitely backing the Warriors. Hopefully the Lakers are able to pull it out as well. Looking forward to both of those games. NBA back in our lives. Luke Arcaini, great stuff. Hopefully the Phillies could come out on top as well. A couple of those plays cash us some green check marks. Always a pleasure, sir. We'll catch up tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
There he is. Luke Arcaini, fresh off of a 38 on a front 9 at one of Jaws' courses. Nice work. Got to get him into swinging and dinging foursome.
Hey. I won't be. You won't allow me.
It's not that I won't allow
you. You won't allow me.
It's this year. I want it this year. I want it.
You say that, then you're going to be the Achilles heel of the team that you're on.
I haven't played I'm going to the driving range for the first time this year.
Like you want to leave me off the team when, I mean, who are you? Who are you on the golf course?
I'm all right. I hold my own.
Sure.
I can hit a putt. I can hit a chip.
I can't hit a putt.
I can hit a drive.
I can get you to the green. I cannot work my way around the green.
All right. Fun show today. Shout out Sean Barnard. Shout out Luke Arcaini. And I'll be back at it tomorrow. And looking forward to that one because then I am riding off to Myrtle Beach for I can't wait. I've been waiting for this golf
I don't know
trip.
how you're going to do it. I'm still jet lagged. I woke up at 1:30 today.
Is that what's going on with me? Am I jet lagged? No, I'm not jet lagged.
I am jet lagged.
I got it in today. I worked out. I felt better immediately after that.
I woke up at around a little after noon yesterday, and I woke up at 1:30 today.
Let's get war about there as I'm yawning on the way out here. I need to start running. I got no more excuses. I gotta get this.
I hate running.
Me too.
I hate it.
All right, back at it tomorrow. Looking forward to a new daily ticket. And, of course, the 76ers and Heat game that Sean Barnard is claiming the 76ers will dominate. We'll talk more about that game. And, of course, recap everything that happened tonight. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your evening. Good luck on those plays. We'll talk to you. Peace.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Heads up, we've had a road closure in South Jersey. It's in Pennsauken. 130 blocked both ways near 73 for an accident investigation. 42 south delays off the wall Whitman.